Because hearing how we had to. And there's a bounty on our souls in the spiritual valley. So I run to the sun, to the scorching my shadow. Because this life is but a precious moment. Our souls will live forever, no need for condolence. I'm on my way to heaven in a worldwide gondola where money's no good. Smash. Let's get real. Let's get real. Let's get real. Let's get real. Let's get real.
When you're born in struggle, you learn to juggle confidence and uncertainty. And certainly comfortability has its place, but at the base, you learn to trust nothing that has its roots, rooted in African servitude. And if I seem to have an attitude, it's because I'm bracing for the punch that comes for loosening my guard and my world being rearranged. And as strange as it sounds, paranoia sometimes becomes my truth. But how many times can I provide you with proof, and it's never enough to satisfy your facts? The system has its own back at all times, and it's always on cold, and I'm tired of having to live in that just out of slavery mode. I'm uncomfortable. Surviving in a cesspool of political neglect, economic suppression, academic programming me to accept this role of second-class citizenry in this 21st century disaster. There has to be a last door to free the socially poor from this matrix of lies and false liberty, dying frequently from government-approved police brutality, being told that I'm a thug for taking a knee. Kept that. As the people rise to clap back in the way that MLK would even endorse. The system can no longer enforce or legislate my reaction to the atrocities that commit. Whereas the fires of this I pray to the God of my ancestors to make us stronger. The longer we fight, the closer we come to living like they did in Haiti.
Like another newscast.
What is we going to do? Minneapolis on fire. Protesters leaving out of our store in flames.
We're about to lose the part of the precinct if we don't move this crowd out of the front.
We're 20 years into this new millennium, and the need is still great to escape this narrow man-made delirium. Yet we continue to rear our children with a government and media-induced approach, and we are leading to this slaughter. Sure as the cattleman needs the bull. So I ask you, what is we going to do? It's not like we weren't born of the past, present, and future assaults on our humanity. It's just evident that we haven't heeded the call to re-emerge as the mothers and fathers of this humanity. And our children already paid a price for our ignorance and inaction. So I ask you, what is we going to do? Now, if what I remember of my and my generation's parents is true, then we all were given the tools to rear fine young men and women. So why are we producing fools? By no means is it a fault of their own, for it's taught at home as well as school. And again, I ask you, what is we going to do? Now, the environment we're given is not meant to be user-friendly, and Lord knows it's not. So we're left with ill deeds to meet our seeds, while the masses are convinced that more jails will fill their needs. And love, they say, can't fill any. Can anyone please tell me, what is we going to do? So please do not wait until the change are no longer just psychological, educational, and false representational images of our origin. Do not wait until the changes again are literal before we all stand up and stop asking, what is we going to do? And just do something.
Get up and fight!
90.7 WTCC FM. My name is D Moss, and it's another Monday night, and we got a guest. What's happening, Darius?
Hey, what's going on, good brother? How's everything?
Man, everything is perfect. No complaints here. As my man James Daniels told me the other day when somebody said, "How you doing?" Say, "I'm amazing." So
Oh,
I'm amazing.
amazing. Yes, sir.
So what's going on, man? For those folks who have no idea who Darius that's Love Jones. My bad. Darius Miles Johnson is. Give everybody a quick rundown. Tell them who you are.
Okay, my name is Darius Miles Johnson. I'm CEO and founder of Visionary X Multimedia Production Company. We service in photography, videography, graphic design, apparel, and we also do community engagements and events.
Okay, that's what's up. And I'm gonna need you just to talk just a little bit louder. I know you like mad cool and all that stuff.
Okay, all right. Can you, all right, let's see if I can adjust it real quick. All right, can you hear me better?
Absolutely.
All right.
So can. All right. So we got something special coming up during the month of January, man.
Yes,
Tell
we
everybody.
do.
No, before we do that, talk about some of the things that you've done, and then we're gonna talk about why this. 'Cause I want to make sure they understand why what we're about to talk about is just so damn special.
Okay. So I'll lead up from the first deluxe event that we did. So deluxe it was just an exclusive dinner party where we got businesses, local entrepreneurs, and residents to be able to come together, network, be able to have some good food, and be able to hopefully gain new connections. That was back in 2019, 18, if I'm not mistaken. And then right after that, we had the New Year Better Us event with Regina Hudson and Ariana Stewart. And that was the networking event that we hosted at Elegant Affairs on Main Street. And we had a good turnout. We had good vendors. A lot of people from the community came out. And then COVID happened, so we took a year off. And then the first event that we had after that, well, for me, was Deluxe. And thankfully, we had that at Dewey's and we sold out. And after that, we had the New Year Better Us brunch, which is leading up to the event that we have in January. And that sold out. And that was at the new restaurant, Northern Soul Cafe on Main Street as well. So a lot of the things that we do, we try to be collaborative and we make sure that we bring the community involved because that's how we grow. And now coming up to January 7th, we have New Year Better Us, the full celebration. And the whole purpose of it is to network and celebrate each other as we're all growing with local residents, business owners and entrepreneurs. So it's just to get everybody together, grow our network, and celebrate.
Okay. I think I got your video. I don't know if it's gonna play, but we're gonna try it again. This is 90.7 WTCC. We are live with my brother Darius Johnson from Visionary Acts. He is the Visionary Acts. I know a lot of folks have heard about him. Some folks like me be talking about him, not always good. I mean, he always does good things. It's just,
Right.
sometimes it's just, the issue's just so perfect. I kind of hate on him just a little bit.
It's all
And I
good though.
shouldn't hate. I shouldn't hate. But
You know, I
dude, he's
love
doing
you
some dope
kind of.
stuff.
You know, I love you kind of. It's cool.
You know you my man though.
I
Well, let's
love
see if we get this video on. Here it is.
Everybody like me. More money. Get your money like me.
I'm not even gonna show it because it's mad pixelated on my end. So I want to make sure I do it some justice.
It looked good though. It looked good. It looked
It look
good.
good?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right,
So
sure.
so we're gonna be having the 360 spinner booth at the New Year Better Us. So you'll be able to get your own video like that, specialized from DJ Boogie, and he's gonna be hosting that as well.
That's what's up. So tell me about the New Year at Us, man. I mean, what is it really? I mean, I know it's networking,
Mhm.
but tell me why would an old cat like me go ahead and throw on my slickest two-piece suit, my turtleneck because I don't rock ties, and polish up my bins and drive downtown. Tell me, man. Talk to me.
So the goal is because it's bigger than just a networking event and just getting business owners to come together.
Right.
What we're doing is we're bringing different demographics into the same room. Business owners ranging from approximately 20 all the way up to 40 and plus. So right there, that's already bridging a gap between the ages that's already having some turmoil alone already. So that's one thing. And now we're not only being able to bridge that gap, but we're also be able to bridge that gap, gain networking connections, and then potentially be able to patronize off of that as well. So it's not limited to one lane, but multi sources.
A little bit of everything. It's really coalition and community building.
Exactly.
And the good thing I love about what y'all young cats are doing, back in my day, a lot of that really revolved around social justice, and that's still, a fight worth fighting. But you guys fight that struggle in a completely different way. It's really built around business. And I noticed that most of the folks in the circles that kind of roll through, all your events and the circles that y'all roll through, you guys are, basically under 30 and
Yeah.
business owners.
Yes, sir.
Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir. I'm 27 now.
Right. So that's dope. And you guys are fighting this struggle in your own way. We took to the streets. Y'all taking it to the banks.
Yeah.
Y'all got realtors, y'all got property owners, y'all got graphic designers, y'all got folks doing videos, y'all doing, paraphernalia, y'all do a little bit of, the cats that you guys have really been rocking. I'm so proud of you. I'm just, glad y'all let an old cat rock with y'all sometimes.
Right, because you cool. You one of the cool cats, you know what I mean?
I'm the old guy. Y'all laugh at my little old man shoes. I get it.
It's all good. At least you ain't got a receding hairline, all right? At least you keep it cut.
Don't make me take my hat off. Don't make me take my hat off. It's not receding anymore.
It's clean.
Yeah, man. They say if you can't beat it, join it and just flow with it.
Right.
So New Year Better Us. Give us the date, man.
Yeah. So the date is January 7th, 2022. So we have 1 month coming ahead, almost 3 weeks coming out. Come bring your business cards. We would love to know who you are and everybody else that's going to be there. So come out, have a great time, and we hope that you grow.
All right. That's what's up. Anything else you want to share?
Shoot. I had something on the tip of my tongue talking right about New Year Better Us, but yes, that's the one thing I want to talk about. So another focus that for New Year Better Us is we want to not only take it outside to Springfield alone, but we want to bring it out to the Eastern Massachusetts and also to the Connecticut. Because right now we recently got June Archer from Connecticut to be able to sponsor the New Year Better Us. So shout out to him.
Hold up, back up. Y'all got my brother, my man. That's like family. Oh my God, I love that dude. Y'all got June Archer on board.
Yep, he's on board. He made a sponsorship. He bought a table.
June Archer.
Yep, indeed, June Archer.
Yo, that's some blow up, man. June, put it like this. Take everything that all of us do, put it in one basket, and we're still not June Archer. He's just that dude, man. So for him to acknowledge enough to say, yo, I got you on the table. No, that's some dope stuff. That's that's a little statement in itself, man. Not trying to, sweat anybody. June's just a dope dude. He's like an older version of Darius Johnson.
Yo, for real. Because I look up to him because even when because I don't even know how I got honored for the 100 Men of Color, but I met him through there. And when we started communicating, it was always just this mutual respect of love in business. So when I was showing him the things that I was going on, he was always respecting that. Even if he couldn't make it, he was like, "Yeah, I'll make sure to just catch me on the next one. I'll make sure to see if I can come." And he followed through with this one. So I definitely a man of his word. I'm on his newsletter, so I get all of his emails. So
that's what's up. See, I'm not even on the newsletter. I'm gonna have to shout him out and be like, "Yo, June,
Put my email in. What's up?"
Yeah, man. How can I get down? I'm just saying. And then shout out to my man DJ Prince, the fat DJ Brandon Nelly Green. He had the audacity to text me and say, "Yo, D, you need to stop eating so much with a middle finger." Oh, there go the fat boy right there. Look, man, look like he got 3 mouths. Hey, Brand.
Yo, come back.
We're in the middle of a professional interview. And Brand goes, "Yo, one thing to say to you. Damn, boy, you fat. The bishop will see you now."
Yeah, he hella fat now.
Hey, I see that black dye down ran out on you, just like all other supplies that we be looking for.
I didn't catch that one. I didn't get that one, but okay.
Yeah, he pretty much said you used to have Mr. Coco, the Coco bean.
Nah, this been white. Leave me alone. So that's what's up. So June Archer's on board, and I mean that's a testament. So for anybody now listening, audience, anybody who will be watching this throughout the course of the week, if you're wondering, man, should I go? Should I stay home? Listen, bro, I'm telling you right now, June Archer is on board. You got D-Moss on board. You got a lot of notable folks who are strongly supporting this venture, man. And I think this is really dope. It's affordable. It's not too expensive. It's just, for me, it's like in the right price. Tell me about some of the speakers. I see you have Ray Berry.
Yep.
That's the bruh. Good people. White Lion. Not only that, Ray Berry has done some phenomenal things
Yes.
throughout the course of his life. I've known him probably since right after he graduated from college, and it's been a number of years. We've done some things together.
Yeah.
Ray's a brilliant, dope dude, man. So you got Ray speaking.
Yeah, I just finished up his photo shoot, his team photos at Smith. They was doing a little celebration, so I just finished up doing some photos over there. But yeah, we got Ray Berry. We have Jasmine Wells. No, I'm sorry, Jasmine Naylor. She's a wealth activist. And we also have Peyton Shubrick, and she's the new owner. She's the founder of Six Dispensary over where the Republican used to be.
Wow, so you got some heavy hitters, and then I see you had the comedian dude.
Yeah, we got Richie. You know, a little hard-headed Richie.
Yo, he a funny dude, man. He's a funny dude. So that's gonna be. I mean, that's really gonna be a great time. Now, the speakers, I know Richie you gotta have him. You can't put him on the flyer and him not do some comedy.
Yeah, he's definitely doing some comedy for sure.
He's gonna do comedy anyways. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, that's what he does. But we also got Rocky's Ace Hardware. They was able to sponsorship the event as well. So we're trying to get local businesses that's known here. If we can get Big Y and a few others to be a part of this, that would be kind of cool as well.
Okay, y'all gonna broadcast live on 90.7?
Yes, we are. We can. Would you like to, sir?
Oh no, I don't control that. I'm just a personality.
He said, I'm just a face.
You should have a conversation with Andrew Cade over at the Urban League about that. Possibly get them on as a sponsor. See what it would take. I think that would really be dope if you guys broadcast it, let people know what's going on.
Yep.
But yo, man, I'm really proud of you. So I got Peyton Shubrick, you got Ray Berry, and who's the last one? Jasmine Naylor.
Yep, Jasmine Naylor.
All right, so they're gonna be some speaking presentations throughout the course of New Year Better Us, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and what's the date on that again?
It's going to be January 7th, 2022, from 7 to 10 p.m. It's going to be at the Springfield Elks Lodge.
Yeah, that's dope. And where's that located, bro?
It's going to be on 440 Tiffany Street, Springfield, Massachusetts. Again, 440 Tiffany Street, Springfield, Massachusetts.
Now, where's Tiffany Street?
Tiffany is like East Forest Park.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I know where it's at. Wow, that's a big venue, man. We're going to pack that bad boy out.
That's a goal. Listen, we almost there. We getting there. So people got to get their tickets.
Oh, no. It wasn't a question. I said we going to pack that bad boy out.
Oh, that's right. There it is. Right. Listen, I need you spinning on that 360 spinner booth, man, getting them shots. I need you to.
Oh, man. I'll be at home with my own spinner booth. Man, I just put my camera on automatic, and then I just spin around. Then I go there and I sweat myself.
Okay. All right. We'll do that then. I'll get you a spinning chair and a phone holder, and we'll be okay.
Yo, this is 90.7 WTCC FM. The time is 9:27 in the great city of Springfield, Massachusetts. My name is D. Moss. We are broadcasting live via remote from the campus of Springfield Technical Community College. And I am on with my man, my little bruh, tall dude, Darius Miles Johnson from Visionary Acts.
Yes,
They have a dope event coming up. I don't even want to call it an event because the event for me is like, hey, if you're on the Clark, an event to me is like having a poetry event, something like that, an open mic.
It's an experience.
This is dope. They have a gala happening. It's called New Year Better Us. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a gala. Is that cool?
That's cool. It's formal.
Yeah. So attire. So can I come like dressy, sporty, casual? Do I have to put on a tux? I ain't got no problem putting on a tux.
Yeah, it's like cocktail attire. So you can come put a little blazer, a little t-shirt under, a little turtleneck with a little gold chain, some slacks, and some nice shoes.
Okay. Well, all right. And we can't say price on the air, but just know, folks, that the price is definitely affordable.
Sure.
It's affordable.
Surely
and it's worth it. It's like it's the biggest bang you'll get for your buck, as you walk into 2022. So if you want to start your new year just right, you want to start out on an up note. So you definitely want to check out New Year. And I love the name New Year Better Us because we're walking into 22 high stepping, top hat, the whole nine, and leaving 2021 behind. Am I right?
I know that's right.
All right, so let's get it.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. I have another guest coming on in a few minutes. Anything else you want to share before you go off? The airwaves is all yours. Again, we ain't just on Facebook. We are also live on 90.7. So folks are driving in their cars, they're at work, they're listening. Some folks chilling on the couch. Talk to them.
All right, to everyone who's listening, just want to appreciate you guys for listening. This event is going to be one of the biggest events to come in the city of Springfield. It's going to be an experience that you'll never experienced before. You can go online to to New Year Better Us on Eventbrite, or you can type in bit.ly/NYBU 2022. That's bit.ly/NYBU 2022. And I promise you, it's going to be an experience you won't regret.
That's a beautiful thing. I will be there. I will be getting my tickets for me and my significant other.
Oh yeah,
She and I will both be up in the house.
yes sir.
And I might even bring all 28 of my kids along.
Please do. I'll fill up the seats real quick. Oh
Let's
man.
see. Yeah, and yo, how about that? The heavy set guy you just had on the air with you. The
what's
dude
his
looked like he
name?
ate his own body.
Brandon Potato.
But yeah. Potato sack. There it is. Look, I seen his stomach hit the screen before he even got anywhere near it.
I'm closing the camera.
My man looked like he had a split personality and ate his other personality.
Listen, my days of interning with you and you bullying me are over, okay, sir? I'm putting this on live air. They're over. You leave me alone.
Yo, that's why he be over at Days. That's his exercise over at Days.
Oh yeah. Listen, I'm gonna be sponsoring. I will be there as DJ Prince and brand ambassador for Days. So I will see my big bro and his 28 kids.
Look, I'm not gonna miss it. I'm hoping that anybody in our listening audience will do the same. Make sure they got their tickets, and yeah, we're ready to do this. So all right, bro. So thank you so much. For everybody else, stay, don't go nowhere. We'll be on my brother Charles Stokes and City Councilor Tracy Whitfield talking about things that are relevant at this point, politically and socially within the Black community. Again, there are like 365 roads to freedom. Some folks take the social justice route, some do politics. And then I got my brother Darius Johnson and his whole circle of fabulous folks. Yo, they tackling it, do the economics, and they're making it happen, man. Congratulations, kudos, and do not sell my 2 tickets.
I got you. I'm gonna put it right aside for you, good brother. Thank you for that.
And I see shout out to my man Kareem Tabar, Wake Up Movements in the house.
Yep.
Eileen, what's up?
Yeah.
George Anderson, no, I am not buying your ticket. You are a grown man now. You are graduating from college. You can afford a ticket. Get a job, bro. Work, study it up. All right, Darius, thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Good brother, man. I'll holla at you. Peace.
Peace. This is 90.7. That's my man, Darius Johnson. So whatever y'all do, make sure y'all stay, and yeah, and get it done. So we're gonna play some music. Let's get it on while we wait for our next guest to come on. If you have any questions, throw it on the sideline. Let's get some local. Let's go Springfield, Mass. Let's go at Jazara. Let's get it on. This is called Watching Me.
Watching me, talking me, constantly, honestly, this is amusing me. This is amusing me. I see you watching me, talking me, constantly, honestly, this is amusing me. This is amusing me.
This is amusing me.
There you go.
This is amusing me.
You can feel the ocean with the tears from a slave ship. Never learned to read, so the changes what they pray with.
Mm-hmm.
90.7 WTCC FM. My name is D. Moss. We're on with Minister Charles Stokes. Put your seatbelt on. We're about to have some fun. Well, I'm going to have some fun anyways.
Me too.
Tears from a slave ship. Let's get down to this conversation. That was my man Joey Malone with Slave Ships. You can feel the ocean with the tears from a slave ship. Man, these young cats be dropping some lines that, woo! That's all I'm going to say. This is 90.7. We broadcasting live. Minister Stokes.
What's up, my
Talk to
brother?
me. Good evening, my brother. For folks who don't know who you are, for those 2 or 3 people who may not know who Minister Charles Stokes is, why don't you tell folks who you are, please?
First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and thanks and honor to God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for me being alive and well. And I'm glad you said that, because I really did want to take a few moments out to share with why I am who I am and why I am as intense as I am when it comes to the issues involving African Americans and young African Latinos in this community. So, like, I came up here. I was 12 years old, from Paterson, New Jersey, and when I got here, man, I went to Tapley School. I went to all the schools here. By the age of 15, at Van Sickle Junior High School, you know, they had me in special education. I was one of the first students in Massachusetts to be diagnosed under Chapter 766, where they said I had a learning disability, right? And so I was not able to go back to any schools in Springfield at 15 years of age. I started hanging out on the corner of Catherine and Bay Street. And that's where we hung out at the pool hall, Ernie's Barber Shop, and all of those areas where I grew up at. Angry, didn't want to be in Springfield, Massachusetts in the first place. Angry because I had been molested as a little boy. Angry because I didn't have no direction and no purpose. My father was out of my life. So when I got here and got with my family up here, you know, it was just one thing after another. Then we started hanging out in Burgess Circle, trying to get money and selling drugs and all of that. And got addicted to drugs at a very early age in this community. And then my problems with the Springfield Police Department during that lifestyle. On the corner of Burr Street and Cambridge Street, I was beat by the Springfield police officers. And when I woke up in Pearl Street, I had defecated all over myself. When I got shot in Burgess Circle, the police tried to let me bleed out and bleed to death. And it's a young lady in our community today by the name of Shelly Jacobs. She was holding me in her arms, and for some reason I didn't die. And so I go to prison. I get strung out on drugs. I go to prison. We're out there doing all of those things. This is 35 years ago, D. And we're out there in the streets doing all those things. And then I went to prison. And then I got out of prison in 86. And then I got out of prison in 1986. A young lady got killed months after I got out of prison. And, you know, a lot of stuff I did in this community And 35 years ago, during the time that me and all of my comrades were out there doing what we were doing, right? There were people taking advantage of that, saying they were supposed to come to us and help us, and nobody did that for us, right? So 35 years later, here I am, man, and I'm in the city of Springfield. I'm alive, right? I'm not supposed to be alive to tell the stories of how the Springfield Police Department, the district attorney's office with Francis Bloom and Terrence Dunphy, and how they exploited that murder case of Mark Shan. More will be talked about that. How I had a black police officer, he's no longer with us, that jumped on me and bit me on my back. Until this day, I have his bite marks in my back. And so I've been through a lot here in this city. And I fast forward to 2021, and the same things is going on in the community, right? If I would have had guns, my cousins would have had guns growing up, we would have been killing each other with guns. If Ronnie Moore and them from the Ave had guns, we would have had guns killing each other. Just so happened they got guns now. The same dynamic playing out, D-Moss, right in front of my face, right? Where there are groups of people exploiting the pain, the poverty of our community through gun violence, and everybody say they're doing something to prevent gun violence, but people are still dying from gun violence. And so I'm intense because the same relationships are taking place in 2021. There are people exploiting our pain and suffering, right? There are political parties who are Caucasian that are in relationships with black people in our community, and the same dynamic, D, all over the country is the same. It doesn't change. Just so happened I was here in Springfield when all this happened. So now myself, brothers like Richard Johnson, who all grew up in this struggle together, we're like the only two brothers from our age group that's in this community like this, right? And we saw things that nobody saw, and we witnessed things because it was Richard Johnson in one of our being away. He pulled me to the side one day upstate and told me to start reading all these different sections of the newspaper to be aware of what was going on in the community in which we lived in.
Right.
So now here I am in 2021, and you've been knowing me for 25 years. I've been consistent with everything I've said. I've never wavered. I've been consistent. People have a different view of me, but I've been consistent on what I've been seeing. So, like, we have solutions to the problems. Like, we need to get into Tinkham Road. We need to get into Ludlow. When I say we, us, we need to be in there to diffuse some of the problems that's going on. But again, a lot of people are making profit off of our poverty, our bad health, and everything. And so what happens, D, I lived through that 36 years ago, man. Listen to what I'm telling you, brother. Francis Bloom, Terrence Dunphy, when our good friend Victoria Seymour was murdered. And I'm gonna, this is I would, if you go to On One station or W On, there's something done by Ben Crump, and you'll see what happened. I never spoke my side of the story. I never said nothing. But here's something that you're gonna get on your show. I went to, during this murder trial, right? I took a 2x4. I cracked the man in his head. When he fell, he busted his head on the concrete, right? They took me to jail, and I told them that if you don't get me out of here, I'm not going to testify in a murder trial, right?
Yep.
This is what they did, D. This is on public record. It was me, Francis Bloom, Terrence Dunphy, and a judge in the courthouse. They let me go on a personal recognizance on attempted murder, mayhem, and assault and battery.
What?
And so, but more will be revealed on this. So what I'm saying is, during the time of that murder trial and everything that was going on, D, the community knew what I was doing and others in Burgess Circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew what this so-called person named Heavy Stokes was doing in the community. Nobody said nothing to those of us in those trenches, brother. Nobody came to us. 36 years later, nobody is really going to these young people. Nobody is really actually putting hands on them in the system where we can stop this. And people have been exploiting this for 40 to 50 years. So when people see me and I'm intense, it's because I know what they did and what they do. The Springfield Police Department and 50 State Street knows who Charles Anthony Stokes is. I testified in one of the biggest murder trials ever in the city of Springfield. Reluctantly, I didn't want to do it, but I was strung out on heroin. I was strung out on crack. I didn't want to do it. I didn't know what to do. And at the time I was 25, 24. So I didn't know what to do. But the district attorney's office, they knew there were people who wasn't even involved would get arrested, go to Pearl Street and say, I know something about the murder trial, and they let them out. This happened during that whole time period. So when we're talking about what's going on in the system with young African Americans and Latinos, they don't care. So now here I am, Charles Stokes, 36 years later, and I'm hearing the same language being spoken in the community when it comes to regards of young, particularly young Black boys, particularly, right? They talk about us as if, like everybody, you don't know what it's like, D. Moss, to have a mental disorder, running around undiagnosed on anger, frustration, crack cocaine, heroin. Now you put that with a gun in somebody's hand, they're going to kill each other. So we have a solution for that, but nobody wants to allow us in. So when I'm saying to people in the community, right, when I'm saying to you and everybody in the community, listen, man, I know how these devils operate. I know they wanted us dead, but we didn't die. So now, here we are, 2021. We have major gun violence in our community.
Yep.
Right? Nobody, hear me closely. I know I've been working on this with Juanita Bachelor Moore for the last 2 years, and it's so frustrating, Dee. Since 2017, there's close to 90 unsolved homicides of African Americans and African Latinos in this community. Since 2012, since Dominic Sarno's been in office, it's close to 100 and something dead bodies that are cold cases. 20 or more of them, we know their family members, mothers, brothers, cousins, right? And we know what's going on in our communities, but here's the trick. Here's what's going on. We would rather for our children to die out here killing them than to turn them over to that system where it destroys them. Now, think about what goes on with the mental health of our children that we're not talking about, because they're listening to conversations about who may have killed their father, who may have killed their brother, who may have killed their cousin. They're 7 and 8 years old now, and they're listening to this conversation. When 12 years from now, when they're 20, and your father may have killed my father, this is the dynamic that I've been screaming about and that we've been screaming about, but nobody's been listening. And I went through it, and I'm saying, here's the remedy to this problem. And so I just wanted to say that to explain, this is why I'm intense. This is why I am the way I am, because no child should have to go through what I went through. So that's why I'm the way I am.
All right. I had to give you time to make sure you go ahead and said what you had to say.
I'm done.
Nah, man, you ain't done. We just getting started. It's interesting because when you talk about it, I mean, I feel like you personally, I'm getting old now, and my body ain't what it used to be in terms of running the streets and being out there and trying to work with kids. I just ain't got it no more. So I'm gonna throw that out there. But I done spent my days. I mean, I'm out from Springfield, like yourself. I'm from Waterbury. I'm from down in I'm married in Waterbury, Meriden. It's like everything you talk about up here with the criminal justice system, and I seen first time I seen one of my boys get killed. It had to be like maybe '82. Dean Penniman got stabbed to death down in Meriden. From that point on, everything's went downhill. We done seen so many people, so it's not a Springfield thing. It's a black community thing. And there's a couple of things I hear you saying in terms of we know the system the system ain't broken. People need to stop saying the system is broken. The system works perfectly fine. I don't think there's any other system that works as effectively as the criminal justice system in terms of how it incarcerates and treats our people. The second piece is I look at our community. I don't know how many times I hear people say they won't listen. And I'm like, the question is we talk about what we need to do in our community. Is there a they that needs to listen to us, or is it something that we need to grapple with internally?
Good question. So the people that, and I'm glad you asked that. So how I see this is when I'm talking about a group of people that are held captive, that are
Yep.
prisoners of war, right? I'm talking about the young people in Ludlow, Walpole, and all of that. They're held captive behind enemy lines. And so my job is to barter and trade with the enemy to get our people to transform them by the renewing of their minds. So when they get out, or if they do get out, they can have a proper foundation to help themselves wean themselves off of white supremacy and systematic racism. So when I say they are not listening, I'm talking about they who are in our community, right? Who have access, right? But are not about the solutions of our problems. So now we're on to the point where we're not asking them, we're going to them now saying, this is what needs to be done in order. So the only thing I'm concerned about is maybe I'm not is the gun violence in my community. And so I'm not talking about they as a one specific person. I'm talking about the district attorney's office. I'm talking about those people who have our people incarcerated, and them young people behind them bars need our help. When they come out, they can transition to
They do. But
support
when
a better life.
and and which is why I sorry, I hear the gun violence, and I agree with you. Something's got to get done. But the gun violence is like an effect of another problem. When we talk about what we need to do internally, we can do everything we need to do with our brothers and sisters. I don't know how many brothers came home more thoroughly educated than cats who went to 4-year colleges. Some of the most brilliant brothers and sisters I've met have done time behind those walls. But the question is, as we worry about what we need to do with our brothers and sisters behind the wall, what are we doing to make sure that when they come home, they're coming home to a much more stable environment? What are we doing to make sure we build up our economy, to make sure these brothers and sisters are aptly, employed by us because we know their situation, by us because we can use our discretion so that we will not continue to discriminate against them to prevent them from jobs. Make sure that we're purchasing property to ensure that when they get home, they have a bed to sleep in and a roof over their head. The question is, what are we doing to ensure that we're handling our economic responsibilities? When we talk about these young cats, when the guns and everything, some of these cats are dealing, some of these young people, they're not even all young. Some of them are like mid to late 20s, dealing with mental health issues that have never, ever been resolved. I heard you speak a couple of times before about your past in some of the mental health issues that went unresolved because we still don't mess with clinical facilities to make sure that we're grappling with our real issues so that we know what we're dealing with. That kid who snaps and has a huge social disconnect with one person may be the nicest person in the world to someone else who, like you said, take the time to stop, tap him on the shoulder and say, bruh, I can't let you do that, right? Let's go for a walk. Let's get a slice of pizza and some soda. We're going to talk about what you just did. Those folks are gone. We have to make sure that we're taking care of our family, man. We often talk about what we need to do in the schools. Option: pull your kids out to school and homeschool. What are we gonna do before they get behind the wall? Let's keep them from going behind that wall because we can prevent that. And I know that you've been out there. How long you been doing this?
About 26 years, 27
Right.
years.
I know you got answers. So let's talk about some of the things that we could be doing differently. How do we catch them before they get that gun in their hand? Any of us could have caught. I mean, during our day, any one of us, everybody, half the cats I know who are trying to do this work have. You ain't the only one with a temper. Let's just put it like that. You are not the only one with a temper. We all could have possibly killed or been killed. Why are we still here? What are some of the things that we did differently? What are some of the decisions that we made that some of our other brothers and sisters are incapable of making? How can we get there before they get that gun in their hand?
Well, I'm gonna first and foremost say that I think that I know that I'm alive because I have a praying mother. Because everything I've did was trying to lead me towards death and destruction.
Yep.
And I always say this: for some of us, we get so far gone that's going to take a prison ministry. Some of us are going to die out here in the streets. I know that. Some of us are going to be. I have friends that are at 60 years old still sniffing fentanyl, dying, overdosing in their homes to this day. And what we can do different is, and what we're beginning to do different is, and I say this with all honesty, like dealing with the mental health issue with the African Diaspora Mental Health Association. That's the first thing we can do, because getting our young people into there, because we have to transform them by the renewing of their mind. So we have in place the African Diaspora Mental Health Association. Along with that, what we can do is we're getting ready to develop a wellness center and a wholeness center. Center. So after they finish with the African Diaspora Mental Health Association, then we're going to have a wellness center. The wellness center is going to be around teaching them skills. We've lost a set of skills. Everybody can't go to college, and another thing that we're working on doing is getting them to work out. We're also getting marginalized people. Like right now, even while nobody knows this, there's a young man that left here, went down to North Carolina, went to Livingstone College, a historically black college university, because we have a black coach down there by the name of Brother Curtis Johnson. So we've been working with young people now. I'm talking about the young people I work with are the ones that's already in the mess and trying to get those out of the mess. But we have a holistic system in place. Mm-hmm. Our young people cannot be taught like they cannot be taught white supremacy and systematic racism, the probation system, and all of that cannot help our people. Dr. John Lewis Clark said, there is nothing that's ever been created by white people that has ever been good for Africans.
Well, let's take white people completely out the equation, because white folks didn't tell my mom and dad what to do with me. So let's take them. We always seem to drag their elephant right into our room. Let's take them out the conversation. Talk about what we need to do. I know they can't help us.
I wish it was that easy, right? Yep. I wish it was either or. I wish it could be just either or. Unfortunately, it's not. It's both and. Mm-hmm. We have a healthy and alive enemy that a lot of us. Okay, for instance, I'm going to put it here where we can see it. You have people in place here now, and I'm gonna, because I really called you originally, because what angered me was how Sister Tracy Whitfield was treated, right?
Okay.
Now I'm bringing this up for a reason.
That's cool, because she's backstage too, so go for it.
Okay, so here's Sister Tracy Whitfield. A daughter, a mother, a grandmother, a person's in the community.
Yep.
Me and Sister Tracy Whitfield has not always gotten along politically. When I wanted to get into Dominic Sarno, it was Sister Tracy Whitfield that separated us. She is saying that when I say something to him and I agree with him, he's okay with that, right?
Yep.
But if she disagrees and supports the people, then she started telling us what she was feeling, her emotions. She expressed that. This dude responds with, I'm not going to respond to her unless she gives me a written apology.
You know where he got that from, right?
No.
You know where you all right, ain't nothing that man does original. When I had my Indie Soul Festival in August, right?
Oh, okay.
When him and his chief of staff Tom Ash sent the police department down there to stop my festival earlier, well, we kind of strategized and we made him eat crow. We forced him to write a written apology and publicize it. He's still pissed that he had to do it. So this is his little, I can't swear on the air, this is his little punk way of saying, I'm going to get you people back. So I don't know where Tracy's at. I know she should be on right now.
No, I'm here. I'm listening.
This is his way of trying to get our community back and trying to take somebody who represents us, whether we agree, disagree, 90% of the time, doesn't matter. This is his way of putting Negroes in his place. But go ahead, Stokes.
So that's why I called you, because I was so incensed, right? Like I said, me and Tracy, that's my sister.
Right.
Now, he said that to her. Now, what you say, I keep bringing Caucasian people in it, right? Now I'm
listening.
There were two city councilors, three city councilors. One agreed with her. The other two, with their weak response as black men, I'm not going to repeat their response, right? And the mayor goes on to say that doesn't represent who he is. He has plenty of people who will support him, right?
Are you one of them, Stokes?
Man, listen. Ooh, don't make me. I just got baptized. So now I'm saying, D, here's where for 26 years, me and you, I've been talking about this. Here's where it comes into play. He's behaving the way he's behaving. And there are black people in this community who look like us, who are some of our friends, having fundraisers for him. They're having fundraisers for a man who disrespects this community, right? And now, here's the thing. You're
going to make me disappear.
Now, he does what he does, and people support him. And why am I so angry at that? Because there are people, and I know what it's like. Hold on. I know what it's like.
Listen, well, it's like rewarding your slave master for whipping your brother or sister in the back. Bad politician. Here's a headline. Politician denigrates black woman, also a city councilor. And how do we reward him? We have a fundraiser for him downtown to show him that the rest of us Negroes is mighty happy with you, boss. I know exactly what you're talking about. So we have ministers who allow them to still come walk through the church, and people are shuffling to take pictures with these people who just a year ago everybody was pissed off when they marched through downtown. Folks want to destroy City Hall. Now a year later, everybody's still kissing up and kowtowing to this dude. And then after this article in the paper yesterday, when this man says, I still have, I've been good to the blacks.
Yeah.
And I have great relationships with the blacks. And for black people not to be riled up, I don't read Mass Live. I think Mass Live is trash. And if any of the reporters are watching, I'll say it over and over again. I think Mass Live is trash. So they're always putting in things, and they have a way of framing things where those people tend to get the last word, and they always try and make us look crazy. So I don't read it. So when you called me today and told me that this dude had the audacity to tell my sister, a polished elected official, that she needs to write him a letter of apology, like she's some little badass kid who belongs in a court, like she's some little girl. And then we got Negroes ready to reward him again and probably have another fundraiser for boss. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, Tracy, you here? I'm gonna let y'all talk for a minute because I gotta go cool off. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to jump in.
Go
You
ahead.
know, I got natural hair and I twisted it up. So I didn't want to jump in because I forgot I was gonna come on. You know that natural hair, you gotta twist it up. But I did, I did so that we could blow it out the next day and look beautiful and fabulous, you
That's
know.
right.
Only us. But I just wanted to say thank you, Charles, for you always have my back no matter what we do behind the scenes. Don't nobody
That's,
gotta know about that.
that's right.
It's how we handle ourselves in public, and you always have my back, and I appreciate all that you're doing out here for more organization in Juanita and the unsolved homicides, because I remember I went with you and you were speaking and you said if the name was I don't know, something like
I said if
Elizabeth
the name was Little Sammy
Sammy
Sarno,
Sarno or
or
Elizabeth Claproot, it would have been
yeah,
solved already. And I think that was great. The mayor is a little man to me because he gave a little response. Um, you know, I went to him. I tried to leave phone messages with him through his aide Lavar Click on his desk. He wouldn't reply. I actually called his cell phone and he wouldn't reply to me. I sent him an email, and instead of him replying to me directly, he had his administrative assistant send me some bullcrap response that his chief financial officer TJ Plant had wrote that they're in the process of scheduling some meetings. They didn't have any dates or anything at the time, but he sent some bullcrap response like he can't respond to me directly now. This man has had other issues with other counselors, Mike Fenton,
Tim
with
Allen,
even Marcus.
Henry, Henry
Had
Walsh.
they all
He's had
had
problems with all of them.
yeah, with all of them. He disagreed or they disagreed on some points or another, and yet he will still meet with them. And so, if you're not discriminating against me for being a black woman, then what is it? What is it? Like, you're supposed to run the city, and this is a horrible way to run the government. And if folks don't wake up and see this, then folks are just really blind. Like, you want to be loyal to a group or a posse or a crew and not do what's right by your people, you need to wake up from that. Like, when the posse and the crew were doing the right thing and they were representing everybody in the community, especially your own people, which is what we're supposed to do. Um, okay, but then when you get, how do you say it? What's the word that I'm trying to use? When you get compromised and it's no longer about doing the right thing by your people, then folks that's following certain individuals need to realize that and fall back. Like, I took a step back when I realized what was going on because I haven't always been in this political world, you know, but my goal when I entered into the political world was to do right by all people, but specifically black people. And I'm going to say that proudly because people out there was like, oh, she's only for black people. Oh, I'm not only for anybody, but I'm a black woman. So when everybody else have pride in their community, when everybody else represent this day, this heritage, this month is not a problem. It's only a problem when a black person comes out and do it. When a black person takes a stance, that's when it becomes the issue. Well, it's going to always be an issue for me because I'm a black woman. All I know is to be black, and I'm going to always represent my people. But that's not to say I'm not representing all people because all people can come to me if they have issues. But
And
back to the
Tracy,
topic. I'm sorry,
and
Daryl.
let me
I
just
just,
say real quick,
uh,
there really shouldn't even be a need for any of us to have to apologize.
I'm
yes.
not
No,
apologizing.
no, no. I didn't say you did.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking. This is a general statement. It's not in response
Okay.
to you.
Okay.
But the mere fact that we have to explain, all of us do it. And I swear, I
We
stopped doing
do.
it last year. I got my walking papers. I was free. We
Yeah.
always had to
Yeah.
say, listen, I want people to know I'm proud to be black, but it doesn't mean that I don't like you. It doesn't mean I won't represent you or work. It's like nobody else ever has to give a disclaimer aside from
Nobody.
us. And that
Nobody.
ish has to stop. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I only said that because I get feedback that, oh, you got to do more for this, you got to do more for that, because people saying you're only for black people. Well, I'm always going to be for black people. That's who I am. I got a black mama and daddy, black kids, black. That's who I am. Like, so I'm always going to do that. But anybody who come to me, if it's within my purview or my power or my role, I'm going to help them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I'm just sick of hearing that. I'm sick of hearing that. But the mayor was blatantly disrespectful. He mistreated me, and I don't care what he says. So if the issue, what's the issue? Like, what's the issue that you can't be man enough? You can't be a leader, a true leader, and have a conversation because you disagree with somebody on certain things. Like, that's crazy. I will still work with this man, even though he's done some really horrible things to me personally. I will still work with him if it's going to better for the betterment of our community, for the betterment of the city of Springfield, to get things done, to make sure the financial resources are going to all communities, including the Black community. Um, I will work. I will work with this man. I asked him for a resource that's paid by ARPA funds, which are federal funds that trickle down to the state, that trickle down to the local level. We pay for Chase Swan a position of technical assistance writer to help the community get these ARPA fund applications written correctly so they can get the finances that they deserve for whatever the reason is, whether it's business, personal, senior, economic development, job creation, whatever it is. The money belongs to the community, not the mayor. Yet they use another $15 million to start a build back better program that they implemented. Another 15 million of ARPA funds for that. But you don't want to send your technical assistant, whose job it is to help people write these applications, out to the community that probably need it the most. Why? Is it because it's the Black community? Or is it because it's a Black woman asking you for the help? Which one is it? Then,
all of the above.
Yeah, then you create a info session on a day that I told TJ Plant, I told Che, and I told Tom Moore that I was planning one on December 15th. They're going to schedule one on December 15th at Rebecca Johnson. Hey, I don't care. Schedule it. I'll reschedule mine because as much as the information can get out to the community, the better. So I don't care. Be petty. Do those petty things. That doesn't hurt me. That just says, yeah, we got more ways to get the information out to the public, which makes me happy. I'll reschedule mine. But what I won't do is allow you to not let me use a resource that my dollars pay for. And if you continue to do it, I will call you out every time. And I will call you out for anything that you do every time. Because for one, I'm not afraid of you. You can't bully me. That's what you're trying to do. And it's not going to work. And if you think I will ever write a response or an apology to your nonsense, to your wickedness, to your evilness, because that's what it is, it'll be a cold day in hell.
Yes,
a cold day before you will ever get a written apology from me.
The mere fact that this sister has to articulate this, right? Man, I got a daughter, and I don't want nobody to make her feel bad or disrespect her. I got a mother, I got a sister, and the times that we're living in, Brother D, is and to have two Black male counselors give a tepid reply to this sister, didn't even validate it. Melvin Edwards says, I don't want to over racialize everything.
He says he has not encountered racially insensitive treatment from the mayor or his administration. I'm not a big fan of racializing every issue. I personally think this is more reflective of a dysfunctional relationship between the administration or mayor and Council Whitfield. As much as I like, me and Melvin Edwards have a decent relationship, but he is also the same man who said, I am not a Black elected official. I'm an elected official who happens to be Black. Says a lot about him. So him speaking on behalf of Black people, he's already voided out. And if anybody's listening and they don't like what I'm saying, it is what it is.
Marcus Williams' reply, if you got that, put that up.
I'm looking for it right now. Marcus says, City Council President Marcus Williams, who is Black, said regarding the issue that we can always improve communication between the City Council office and the administration. I respect Councilor Whitfield's perspective, Williams said. The best way to discuss any perceived slight is to talk it out. Professional disagreements should never lead to personal animosity. Williams said he has had his own disagreements with the mayor, and I think any relationship goes through growing pains. Williams became city council president in January.
And I'm not speaking for Sister Tracy Whitfield, right? But they don't have to have a kumbaya relationship. Their relationship is she served the people and he's the mayor, right? And if that's their relationship, that's their relationship. But her emotions and feelings shouldn't be brushed under the rug as a quirky way of a relationship. And this is how our women, in particularly, are treated, right? And we get a tepid response from people. Let's add the things up that this man, Dominic Sarno, has done against the African American community and Latino community, right? And in spite of that, in spite of all of that he has done, there are pockets of people in our community that support him, and then they come and look at us as if we're the ones that are the problems. We're the problem. He's okay. I'm still supporting him to do what he do, and then you're
Even worse, Charles. Even worse. They'll get in your kitchen, sit with you, and say, "Yeah, we know we don't like him either, but this is business." But then they'll stroke his ego, and he'll have massive fundraisers. And it's like, not to make this a political thing, because I've retired from. I've retired. No, I'm just saying I can only speak for myself, brother. I retired from politics and divorced myself from all this mess. But the reality is, to see something like this happen, for him to make that statement, and for our folks to not be irate, as we talk about the issue of leadership, what leadership is and what leadership isn't, I tell you, we have to look at the responses of these folks who speak publicly on behalf of the Black community. And I agree with you, Minister Stokes. There has to be some accountability. We cannot sit on the sidelines, watch these responses, and say, "Oh, I get it. They were being political." No, you're supposed to defend your sister, your mother, your daughter at all costs. For this man to say, "I want this grown professional woman, a woman walking around with a master's degree, a homeowner, as you said, a mother, a grandmother, and to write you a letter of apology." We get it. He had to write a letter of apology, but his police department effed up. The city messed up. They sent their Gestapo squad down to to disrupt a festival that was going along peaceful the way it was supposed to. They did that. So of course you make a public apology, because it looked as if the organizers had done something wrong. This situation, I mean, he's been petty with black electeds since I've been in that office.
And he's unoriginal. So he can't think of his own punishment.
As we walk into this next mayoral election, and I'm not saying this because the city let me go. Let me throw it out there. It is, if it looked like a duck, walk like a duck, and quack like a duck, what is it? It's a duck. And this dude is a lame duck mayor, and he needs to go. Ask any accepted black leader outside of Ray Jordan, ask who else can get a meeting with the mayor on a whim. Who? Marcus gets meetings with him now, but I remember for years Marcus couldn't get in that office. Before I left, I brought Marcus in, and I think we talked about the marijuana, the cannabis thing. He couldn't even get a meeting. When he gets upset with black elected officials, he will not meet with them. Justin could not get a meeting even as a city council president for a long time. Don't get it twisted. So for folks to watch this and say, "Well, y'all know Tracy's a tad bit argumentative. Tracy don't stop. We will find a million reasons to blame ourselves," as Brother Stokes said. And it's kind of like, folks, we got to stop this mess. Everybody should be irate. Anybody watching this should be calling folks and saying, "We need to call the mayor's office. 787-6100. Let him know you pissed." He keeps thinking that as long as he has some Negro friends and some folks who will throw fundraisers in his honor, that he's okay. As long as some of these black preachers continue to hug him and say, "Yes, Mayor, let's pray," he feels like everything is okay between him and the blacks. Folks, man, y'all gotta wake up. This is our city council. We voted for him when the mayor turns his back on her twice. And the community, our community, put her back in. Not
And
them.
everybody don't have to like my personality, but if they look at my fight is right. When I'm fighting for property tax to be waived, it's for the whole community. It's for all the seniors. It's for all low income families. When I'm fighting to figure out where these ARPA funds are going, to be transparent, when I'm fighting for the teachers to be transparent, and to not the teachers,
Everybody.
all Springfield public school employees. I didn't, not just the teachers, because it's beyond all that. When I'm fighting for them to get what they deserve as far as merit pay and bonuses, it's for all, even people that don't live in the city, because not all of SPS, Springfield Public Schools employees live in the city. So folks can say whatever they want to say about Tracy, but if you look at what I'm fighting for, when I'm fighting for Black Lives Matter, when I'm fighting out here for a national recognized holiday, for employees to get it off just like they would get off the 4th of July, when I'm fighting, if you look at my track record, I'm fighting for what is right. Okay, I got some other issues coming down the pike, but I'm fighting for what is right. So you could say anything you want about Tracy Whitfield, but I know that I'm out here working for the people and I'm doing the right thing. This mayor is disrespectful. And the people that keep following him for the pennies on the dollars that they're not getting nowhere near the amount of funding that his white counterparts are getting. Nowhere near the amount of funding. And I'm looking at CDBG funds. I'm looking at where ARPA funds are going. I'm looking at these grants and I'm like, wow. Look at the players who's getting all this funding. And when he throwing $5,000, $10,000 at our organizations in the Black community, and then you see other organizations and other communities getting a heck of a lot more. Oh yeah, let me call them out. New North Citizens Council. Since they want to put a slate together, let's be real. When he's giving them almost $1 million in 1 year to keep their doors open, but he doesn't even give close to $1 million in totality to the Black community.
It's
Not even close. No other neighborhood council gets the amount of funding that New North Citizen Council gets. Yes, I'm going to call it out. Yes, I'm going to get it audited. Yes, I have an issue with it. Yes, I have an issue with the marijuana applications and how backdoor deals are happening. Oh, we're going to bring it all to the public. And then you want to continue to not talk to me, and I'm going to continue to keep digging, and I'm going to continue to bring it to the community. But we can't have conversations where we work it out if you want to. But if you don't, we won't. But I'm not going to stop working for the community no matter what you do. And you'll never get an apology from me unless you apologize to me for setting me up when my family was young. I had a young family. I was a new homeowner and y'all set me up to terminate me. And this isn't a story that I have told many people. But if we want to call it all out, let's talk about the racism that happened right in City Hall under your administration. You guys set me up to terminate me. I know it happened. I called it to your attention. I told TJ and I told Pat Roach and I told Anthony Soto exactly what happened. I know what y'all did. I didn't keep it a secret. You all know that I know. So now the world knows. You set me up personally. I don't have to talk about what you did to Daryl Moss. I don't have to talk about what you did to Tashina. I don't have to talk to you about any other employee that worked for City Hall except for me, because I have my own story. And none of y'all cared about my kids being a young family. None of y'all cared that I could have ended up losing my home. However, my skill sets allowed me to get a job within 3 weeks. So it didn't happen the way that you guys wanted it to happen. That is aggression. That is racism. I sat in City Hall and dealt with racism for 4 years. Dealt with racist remarks that the team would say about Black people and Latino people. I sat there and listened to it. And you know why they got rid of me? Because I wasn't silent then, and I'm not going to be silent now. So when I say that you are acting irresponsible and racist, I mean it. You did it before, you're doing it now.
Well, you can't be racist. He's the people's mayor, Tracy.
Well, I'm rooting on another one.
Well, again, like Brother Darryl, like when I called you and I reached out to you, man, today, it was only because, man, like I know Tracy, her children's father. Me and him talk often on the phone, and he talked about how when he was growing up, he was looking up to me and stuff. And we talking about politics, and we talked when I was booing the mayor and Tracy got between us. I got a call from him and we talked. I said, no, that's my sister, man. She just don't want to see me probably get in no trouble. I respect that, and I understand the dynamics of black women, don't want nothing to happen to us, don't want us to get hurt or nothing like that. And so that's my sister, man. For me, like it's not even about politics, man. It's about my sister and how you offended her. And this mayor, like again, since he's been in office, man, since 2012, there are 90 plus unsolved homicides, right, of African American and African Latinos in this city since he's been mayor. Not just one, but close to 100. Imagine if 100 Caucasian residents from 2012 to now were being murdered in the streets of Springfield. Bodies left on the street to bleed out because we don't have a coroner, right? And mothers are watching their children lay on the streets bleeding. What would be the response if it was dogs? Dog right activists from all over Springfield would be marching. Who's killing dogs and letting them just lay on the streets like this? He don't talk about that.
And he needs to put his money where his mouth is. We have plenty of money right now.
The superintendent just got a raise, right?
Yes.
He just got a raise. And there are no nonfiction books in the school curriculum of our schools that show us in a positive light as contributors to the world. And I got this for you. His daughter, the superintendent's daughter, has taken over a counselor's position at Frederick High School. They removed a black woman counselor who's been there for years, and the superintendent's daughter, who just passed her exam, right, is now, I got this today, is now the head of the counselors of Frederick School. A sister was moved out.
I mean, Frederick Harris Elementary School.
Frederick Harris Elementary School, they had a guy. Now, I'm not in the school system, so how would I know this? His daughter just got appointed as the lead guidance counselor of that school, and she just passed her test recently. This is going on under the mayor, Maria Perez, right? Cameras in the schools. All of these things pile them on top of each other of how the mayor treats the African American, African Latino community. So how is it we can find black people and Latino people supporting Dominic Sarno? How can they be having fundraisers for this man who hasn't put his money where his mouth is to provide any services in our, so when I say the money that's coming in now, the ARPA money, that money could be providing for the wellness center that we're talking about, for health and development center, because it's our money. So when I'm calling them to the carpet, when Tracy's calling them to the carpet, and the mayor's trying to subvert the funding, and we have black legislators, state representatives, we have, come on, and they are not saying nothing about this
Two of our city, we only have one black state rep, that's Bud L. Williams. Two of our city councilors have been adamant about making sure that the process has been fair unequivocally across the board. That would be Tracy Whitfield and Justin Hurst. So, and then I just want to just say real quick, there was a time, Mr. Stokes, when he did turn the city upside down after a teenager was murdered.
When was that?
When Connor Reynolds was stabbed to death at the Blue Fusion. He turned that city upside down, threatened to arrest any and everybody, slammed doors all over City Hall. That was the only time.
Again.
I'm sorry. Connor was white. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts. And so this is what he's showing us who he is repeatedly. And what I emphasize is what I've been emphasizing is this. Those of you who support him at the expense of our community, of our people, particularly. I'm not, I don't quantify it or qualify it. I'm talking about black people and Latino people who are Africans too. We are not being properly represented even by those who say they represent us. So again, when I talk about these cliques and stuff, it's because I know, like, Cephas Jackson is my best friend in the world, my godfather, right? I just had a conversation with him. The mayor just had a ceremony for fallen officers who died in the city of Springfield. Part of the people who was there was Cephas Jackson and Pastor Gail Hill to pay honor to those who were slain in the line of duty. But not one time has this mayor come in this community to talk about the slain in our community. Not nobody from the head. Hold on. If a person is in head of the Health and Human Services of the city of Springfield, and people are being murdered, and the health and welfare of people are being murdered, and the city doesn't have a plan, the mayor doesn't have a plan, the Health and Human Services doesn't have a plan to stop the violence, he's showing us what he cares about us. And then to support, so now I got good people that I know that they like him, and they call me all the time. Maybe there's a better way, Brother Charles, that you can talk about the mayor. You're worried about how I'm talking about him. Worry about him not having a proper school system, and a man is making close to $500,000 and an income.
And let's talk about the number of black businesses that we've lost over the last 12 years. Look at the number of doors that has shut down and ask yourself why. I mean, some of it you got to blame the business owners, but a strong percentage of it is the lack of support from the city of Springfield. Folks got to get on board and have to speak about. There are a number of things we talked about. I mean, we keep talking about what is leadership. Some of these people that you're talking about, some of these cliques, some of these folks that the black community specifically have always turned to, they're not leadership. These are people who happen to be in prominent positions, but being in a prominent position does not make you a leader. And I think we have to kind of rearrange, restructure our perception of how we see the world, how we see leadership. We look at if you're the lightest guy in the room, you're light skinned, so you're a leader. If you make $200,000 a year, you could be the dumbest asshole on the block, but you're a leader. If you're elected to a political office, we automatically say you're a leader. If you work for the mayor, you're a leader. We got the most stupidest perceptions of leadership. The people that we allow to direct us, and then we go, well, we can't do nothing because they won't let us. I remember when I moved here, I was like, well, who the hell is they? I remember when y'all cats was rolling up, and I'm like, I don't need permission to do stuff in my community. And we have to stop asking for permission. We have to stop kissing rings. I think politically speaking, I think Tracy Whitfield is probably the best example of somebody, standing their ground, getting shut down by the political machine, and still coming back and kicking butt during the elections, showing that we can do this. That we can do this, and we can get it done on our own without their help. We don't need the Negro in charge. We don't need the white guy and their money. Tracy, did you win?
Yes.
Every young black and Latino person out there, every young black person should be looking at Tracy saying, well, damn, if she can do it, I can do it.
That's right. That's right.
We can build our own damn table. We keep wanting to sit at other people's tables, man. That stuff is for the birds. Come up with our own plan. Go ahead, Tracy.
Okay, sorry. I know you guys get so
passionate. I'm on every Monday, so I'm on every Monday, so I'm gonna run my mouth regardless. So go ahead.
No, I just wanted to really drill down in folks' head what a good leader is. So the superintendent got close to a $5,000 raise, right? So all the SPS employees are asking for is something. It doesn't even have to be $5,000. Give them $1,000 because they're like, oh, the mayor said we're not going to spend $25 million of our ARPA money. What you mean? It's one city, mayor. These are still your residents and your constituents. Wake up, guys. So he said, I'm not going to spend, because if you give each SPS employee $5,000, it comes to about $25 million. Well, would you consider doing half? Can they get $2,500? Can they get $1,000? Can they get something for taking care of our students, our youth, my kids? My kids are still in the Springfield Public School. My brother's kids are still in the Springfield Public Schools, right? Can they get something for making sure that our kids, they're in the line of duty, they're in hazard. If you want to really think about COVID and it still being around and the Omicron variant coming out and all these things, there's some line. What good leader will take a raise and not give anything to his employees? What good leader would do that? What good leader will give all their top staff, that higher paying staff in the city of Springfield, every single one of them got $5,000 merit pay? All of them got merit pay, $5,000, the top paid, and then everybody under them got lower amounts. And then you isolated some people that didn't get anything. And if you look at the list, the majority of the people on those lists are Black and brown. And then you got folks that did the exact same job as their white counterpart, and that person got nothing, but the white counterpart got what, maybe $2,500. So all these things are happening, and you're saying there's no systematic racism or injustices going on. I look at numbers. I know what you're doing. I'm looking at the contracts. We got a contract that's all the way down in Florida, and I was told by the procurement office, oh, it's because they know the HUD guidelines. So you mean to tell me not an organization, not even Springfield in Massachusetts know the HUD guidelines, that you had to send that contract all the way down to Florida?
Yes.
Like, these are the background things that people don't know. But a good leader is going to call it out. And a good leader is not just going to sit there and let it happen. So when we look at some of these elected officials, like, okay, you don't live in a racial world. Well, it still lives with you. It reminds me of a JC song that says still, and Black people might know that song. I ain't going to say it on here. No matter who you think you are, no matter what you think you see, to them, you're still a Black person. You're still a Black male. Right now, you're just a Black token. So I'm not calling nobody out, calling no names or anything like that.
We're talking Melvin Edwards.
No,
Melvin need to wake up and realize that we live in a very racial. You don't have to say it. These are my words. We live in a very racialized country. And it's crazy. You could talk to white people who will acknowledge that it exists and that it happens, that they see it.
Yes.
And then you talk to Negroes who have been elected to represent in his district, his ward is one of the, outside of Indian Orchard, is probably one of the most neglected wards in the city. Are you kidding me? He needs to wake up. I mean, the bottom line is the people need to wake up. And as long as we continue to accept this nonsense, it's going to keep happening.
And one more point that I wanted to make, D, is people says that we can't do anything, but what you can do is vote. You can vote. My vote don't count. My vote don't do this. It does. It does. Ayanna Crawford was 70 votes away from beating Peter Murphy. 70. So if 70 of our people would have came out and voted, 71 people would have came out and voted for Ayanna Crawford, the vote on the school committee would change drastically. Right now, they monopolize the school committee, because I do want to give credit to Denise Hurst, Latonia Monroe Naylor, and Barbara Gresham for not going to that meeting. They didn't even show up to the meeting where the superintendent got his raise. So I want to applaud them and thank them for bringing to the public that they didn't even want this meeting publicized and televised for you all to see. They don't want you to have this information. What good leader want to leave you in the dark?
I'm gonna say this on that, Tracy. I wish that our Black members of the school committee were as vocal as you and Justin are on the city council, because there are some things where, we do have the capacity. I think we've shown a few years ago that we can pack out a room.
Mm-hmm.
And we could pack out a room. But people have to stop taking this information, keeping it under their arms, and just like, it just happens. We no more of that. When they voted for the school surveillance system, the police having unfettered access, we should have knew about that. I mean, that vote shouldn't have happened without us packing out that room, because it impacts our people. There are a number of things in which we have to start rallying our folks and packing out that city hall and let them know who the city really belongs to. And I think as long as we have people who are elected to represent us, if they're not coming back telling us what's happening before it happens, then we have a problem with our system.
In their defense,
I'm not dogging them, because I respect everybody that you said, But
Yep.
the same way you and Justin can get that information out, y'all sending press advisories out. Dominic Sarno and his folks didn't elect these black school committee members. The people did. So we need to know what's happening before it happens. We have to at least give us a chance to pack out these rooms.
So I do want to say that the way their meetings are set up is a little different than ours. So any chair of the city council, we can schedule our own meetings. All their scheduling of their meetings have to go through the vice chair, Chris Collins. So sometimes Chris Collins, the vice chair that told the finance person not to come to my meeting to discuss the ARPA funds or the ESSER funds on the school side. He told his finance person not to come so I could get the information to the people. I just had to throw that out there. Anyways, Chris Collins scheduled their meetings. They have to go through him to schedule school committee meetings. So at times, Chris Collins will just schedule a meeting and they find out last minute. So it's not always, it's not always that they have the advance notice that we have because we schedule our own.
Then everyone needs to start saying Chris Collins' name a whole lot more frequently and much more louder. He should be a household name, like David Duke and the rest of them. Stokes, did you know who Chris Collins was?
No, sir.
Okay.
Well, I'm here to let you know he's the vice chair of the school committee.
Right.
He's the one who scheduled the meeting. I'm pretty sure he has a good relationship with Mayor Sarno, because they move alike. And I had to go to a public speak out at the school committee to address them because they won't talk to me. And he stopped the CFO on the school side, the chief financial officer on the school side, from coming to a finance meeting that I put together because I want to talk about what funds do the school committee have from the COVID-19 pot of money. He stopped him from coming to explain that so I can explain it to the constituents. And so they all are working together to do this. And they're doing it in such a way that I know microaggressions. I'm the equity and inclusion officer for the town of West Springfield. I'm in a diversity and certificate program. I'm learning these terms, but I just call it systematic racism, structural racism, just plain old racism. I've been dealing with it my whole working career, so I recognize it for what it is. And no matter what the mayor says or what he does for the black community, he still will terminate us at the drop of a dime. You see all these white police officers. You see all these white police officers doing all these crimes, yet let a black officer do something, they're terminated. Everybody else get a chance to retire. They get suspended for a little while, suspended with pay, or do some type of office duty, but not us. So you guys tell me who that is.
I don't know how many. I could have told you what a racist microaggression was 20 years ago. Nothing's changed, and you're absolutely right. We got work. We have work to do, and I know, Stokes, I know there are a number of things you want to talk about as well, but folks need to understand that this has to be a wake-up call. When somebody smacks your girl publicly, I don't care who you are. You can be the biggest punk on the street. You got to do something. For him to make that statement that he made on Mass Live, I tell you right now, Stokes, he just challenged your manhood and mine both.
You know what? I respectfully disagree. If a true punk's girl gets slapped, you know what a punk gonna do?
What?
Absolutely nothing. And this community has been punked. We do absolutely nothing. We say we want to sit at a table together, but some of us can't get along together because we're in the personality rather than principles. We say that we can do everything we can together, but we really can't. We're divided by Church of God in Christ versus Baptist. You're a sorority, I'm a sonority. Alpha, Kalpa, higher opportunity. We got so many things holding us back that by the time we get to the table together, just like the young people with the guns turn on each other, kill each other, we get at the table and we kill each other because we haven't dealt with Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said that anything that we do, if it's not about destroying white supremacy, it is an exercise in futility. So anytime we think we can partner with them, do anything with them, vote, we can vote or whatever. Those Caucasians are in power. And until we get out of our minds fear of being by ourselves and get out of our minds that we can't do something by ourselves without adding Caucasian people to it, because maybe I'm married to a Caucasian. My best friend is a Caucasian, so I can't speak pro-black because I'm going to offend another Caucasian person. As long as we believe that Jesus Christ is white, as long as we believe, like my mama said, white ice is colder, Negroes ain't going to do nothing.
I'm going to disagree.
The biggest fear, I've been watching it here.
I'm going to disagree.
I've been watching it here for 26 years. D-Moss, let me tell you something. Hold on.
I'm listening.
When I walk through the community, I could be at a political event downtown Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
There could be people there. There are people in this community that won't even speak to me. They hold on, and they tell others I'm close to. Somebody went to Juanita Bachelor for more while I was gone and told her, don't be around Charles Stokes because he's not going to be good for you. So when I say that we're not going to get together, people wouldn't get together as long as certain people are not at the table. I've been doing this for 30 years, man.
And you know, and I've been doing it. I've been in Springfield since '94, and I've seen black folks in Springfield on the days that they feel like rising to the occasion, they do. And I'm only disagreeing for this reason. We've done a whole hell of a lot, but we don't give ourselves credit for anything. And that's always been my problem with folks in Springfield. You go back to my hometown of Waterbury, and you see what they got. I think black folks in Springfield, we take a whole lot for granted. And I've seen, when I asked everybody to come out and support, when they were coming after Vicky at the city council meeting, everybody came out. Why'd y'all come out? Why'd y'all come out? You were the main one standing. You were standing just like this.
You asked me to come and support you.
Right. And what did you do? No, think about it. And what did you do?
I came to support my sister.
And y'all came out and y'all supported. So my thing is, it may seem minor to some people, but I think that particular day, I think we showed our community and we showed everybody else too that we're not the group to be playing with. So I've seen an association start that didn't exist. And I watched 5 years later, I watched 300 people walk into MGM talking about we can do this economic development thing. We can build black businesses. We can do whatever we want to do. It has nothing to do with white people. We can do what we want to do, but we have to recognize when we accomplish things. And we have to own that the same way we own the effed up stuff. So I can walk around all day and talk about what we can't do right, but I have this thing about leadership and being a spokesperson for black folks. If we're not going to talk about the things that we do well and let our kids know that we do some things damned well, then what are we doing? I can lose 10 fights, but I have to acknowledge the 20 fights that I won.
I agree with that.
You're absolutely right, Yolanda. We did pack those rooms more than once. Right. So it's not just about packing the room. It's about when we want to come together, we can. Sometimes it has a lot to do with who's asking and how we ask. How we ask.
Because
but we do
when you ask and others ask, people show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing things and we ask, send out emails. You know who come? Nobody. And I know what that's about, right? Listen, those people who I'm associated with,
mm-hmm.
who give me permission to speak for them, are under constant attack because of me. But they say, Brother Stokes, you're the only one, this is what they say, I'm not saying it, that speaks the language that we want spoken. And so it depends on who calls. I'm gonna tell you this, if Daryl Moss called, Andrew Keaton called, Tracy Whitfield called, Justin Hurst calls, people will mostly show up. Charles Stokes calls, basically nobody. More calls to talk about issues, nobody comes to the table. So that's what I'm talking about. People Look, we asked Carlos Gonzalez. We gave him a press release. We did something on International Humanity Day. Carlos Gonzalez told us he couldn't be there. We look at the 11 o'clock news. He's on giving a lady a citation for opening up a business. 25 of the 40 murders that took place in the district that he represents. But he can't come sit at the table to talk to us about the solutions that we have for gun violence. So now it depends on who's calling. If it's controversial, if it's too controversial, I'm not going to put myself around. And I tell people, I'm not controversial. I just address controversial issues. And because of my, what they call nowadays, male toxic, what do we now?
Toxicity.
Masculine
Toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity. Because I have a toxic masculinity, people don't want to be around that. And so what I'm saying to you, that we can create our own tables, but the tables are going to have to be set up to, is the people I like have a little more etiquette that fits the standard of Eurocentric iconography.
Mr. Stokes, there are people that won't touch me with a 10-foot pole and wouldn't do it even when I was working with this dude. Mm-hmm. So it all depends. Circles are circles. There are people who hate me. I've been called a demon, the devil, a sellout, a tom, a coon, a knucklehead, fake Negro. I've heard it all. So there are people who will follow me. There are people who won't. I remember when I got let go, some clown who's down with that cat, Michael Jones, was telling everybody he needs to go back to Connecticut and finish raising his kids. Wow. I've heard that from a lot of people. My kids live in Springfield. Go figure. So when you talk about that, Stokes, if I were to personalize all the people that don't like me, who don't know me, I wouldn't get anything done. You're right. There are people who don't like you. And some of those same people don't like me. Some of those people like or dislike Tracy. It's not about that. It's about, I think a lot of times people follow based on people's leadership styles. It has more to do with style and delivery than it does personality. There are people who hate me, there are people who I swore up and down hated me up until that day I asked them to come down the steps of City Hall. And I'm like, oh, shoot, what? Caught me off guard. So I stopped judging people because you never know who's going to have your back and who's going to prop your pillow when that day comes. Right. So there are people, they may not come out when you call them, Stokes, but you'll be shocked how much respect you got in the community. You're the only person.
I'm not. Listen.
No. Let me finish my thought. You are the only person. You are the only black man, or black man, black woman, doesn't matter. You are the only one, and I ain't here to stroke your ego, but you are the only one willing to poke that bear and not give a damn what the bear does. You will poke the bear anywhere, and poke the bear and dare the bear to growl. Bruh, they don't make them like you. They got soldiers, there's organizers, there's generals. Bruh, what you do, and I know you don't undervalue your worth, but don't ever frame it like that. And I think that boils down, and when we say, Kwanzaa's coming up on Sunday, December 26th at the Boys and Girls Club Family Center. You better be there. Monday the 27th, we're having an all-week thing. It's the Family Center on Sunday. Rebecca Johnson on that Monday. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we'll be at Palmusa Museum. Okay. And I say that to say this. The theme this year is developing Black leadership. The conversation of Black leadership. And I think we really need to have this conversation around Black leadership. What it is and what it ain't. These are conversations that we don't have. We have people who come, they want to sit at the table, but they've never taken the time to even read a book. They don't understand strategy, and it's just like, we got to make sure that we're cultivating new leadership. Bro, you and me, I think you in your 60s, I'm knocking. I'm like this. I'm right behind you, grabbing onto your shirt as you pull me in. So the question
I'm a little younger than y'all.
Yeah, you are. So which is why you see you carry a whole lot of the burden.
Right.
Yeah.
He sure does.
So the thing is, it's really about making sure these young people understand what leadership is. Because eventually, we're going to be gone. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not living forever. We're going to be gone. And if we don't figure out how this thing works and put a formula together, then Stokes, in 20 years, you're going to be absolutely right. And no one's going to be able to disagree with you.
And I want to say this to you, Brother Stokes. I haven't always had a bunch of people following me. Like now I'm more recognized, but before I would host things and I would host events and a lot of people wouldn't show up. But guess what? You do it anyway because you put that nugget in about 5 people and they spread that nugget, and that's how you spread the word. So it doesn't matter how many people come to the table. And we also can't always take it personally because I got the press release, except I wasn't available on December 10th. It came a little bit late. You know what I'm saying? My heart and everything wanted to be there, but I just couldn't. I also work, so the time frame wasn't conducive to my schedule. So we got to stop taking it so personally and do it anyway. I always tell my kids, do it
Just do
anyway.
it.
I don't care if there's one
Just do
person
it.
there listening to you. Do it
Just do it.
anyway. That's how you grow your support.
Just
That's
do it.
how you grow people, and they will start coming.
Absolutely.
Eventually, they will start coming, but you got to stay consistent and you just got to do it anyway. Like when I ran for city council, I had no idea what I was doing. I went to Daryl because he's the closest person in politics that I know. Said, help me. So he said, get a team. I'm going to give you some nuggets. I don't know if he ran a campaign before, but he helped me the best way he could. My team didn't have experience, but guess what? We did it anyway. We didn't win the first time. I moved up, but we still did it, and we're going to continue to do it. And even if I'm not a politician, I'm going to do it anyway because that's what I'm teaching these kids to do. Well, these young folks, I ain't even going to say all kids. You do it regardless of what you think people think about you, or if they have a negative perception of you, or whatever they think. It's not about them. It's about you and getting the work done. And so however it is your method that you get the work done, just do it anyway.
No, I just want to clear the air for. I appreciate all that, but let me tell y'all something right now.
Talk about it.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a Mickey Mouse's what about what nobody think about me or say. I've never cared about that. I don't have pity parties or none of that stuff. I do this. I got a crew of people that love me in the community in the city of Springfield. I know I'm at the grandfather age now. I know people's children's children, and they all come to me in this community, and they be like,
right,
you know, they got this name. They used to call me Heavy, and they come to me, the mothers and grandmothers, and they said, man, we never thought in a million years that it would be you talking like you're talking. We never thought you had good sense, man.
This is the same you who just said 10 minutes ago they won't come out.
No, they won't though. The people that love me, they won't come out because they're apathetic. When we talk about people, this is what they say to me. They say, Stokes, man, I don't know why you effing with them at City Hall. I don't know why you messing with them people. They don't effing understand, man. I'm talking to people I talk to. See, hold on. There's a culture, then there's a subculture, then there's a culture in Springfield, Mass, that's on the underground that people don't even. I'm just saying.
I hear you, and I hear you, and you're entitled to that. I dig it. I remember me and Donnie Wright had a conversation before, and he said, it was back when I was doing this, working with the cats on the streets. And he said, people won't work with you because, you wear the ties, and they want people who done been locked up and people who, and I'm like, well, bro, I've been doing this for 20 years. I don't know how many cats I helped walk off the streets and onto college campuses and onto, I'm like, bro, I hear what you're talking about, but it's like.
No, you didn't hear me because I didn't finish.
No, but I know. You know I'm rude.
That's okay. But you said you heard me, but you couldn't hear me if I ain't finished.
I'm going to let you finish. My point was, some of us come from places that are worse. Let me just put it like that. Some of us come from places that are far worse. When I moved to Springfield, these same projects you talk about, I was working for the Key program. I couldn't find the projects. I'm from Waterbury. Our projects are different. We didn't have front yards, driveways, garages, back. We didn't have that. You dig where I'm coming from? So it's kind of like when people say, don't mess with those people down there. It's like, well, some of those people down there came from here. In some places worse. And I think because you have direct access to them, you need to let them know that. Just because somebody wears a suit and tie now, It doesn't mean they don't understand your struggle. Doesn't mean they don't have siblings that are strung out. Doesn't mean they don't have siblings who've been locked up for damn near so long you forgot what they look like. You understand what I'm saying? And I
But
think
no,
that's
I hear what you're saying.
we
but
got to take a good look at our community and really reframe how we see us.
no,
Because that
homie,
undercurrent.
bro,
Go ahead.
these are people that I've been living here in Springfield for the last 50 plus years, right? That I see in my casual going about the community, right?
Yeah.
And they're the ones that's, because where I come from and where we all come from together, they're the ones that when I'm discussing and they seeing me discussing stuff, they be like, yo, man, leave them people alone, man. They don't get now. They don't know y'all. They know me. They don't. You've never talked to some of the people I'm talking about that really care about me and love me. That I socialize with. They're the ones like, listen, man. They don't get it. And these people are not voting. You know why they say they don't vote? They said, man, I ain't worried about a Democrat, a Republican, a nigga, or nothing. I'm eating. I'm working. I do my construction on the side. I smoke my weed. I drink my beer. I know my children are bad. But one thing I'm not going to get a headache over is them people in City Hall. Well, Heavy, you keep doing what you're doing. We think you're wasting your time. But we support you. But we ain't going to vote.
I get it.
We ain't doing, and those are the people that I'm trying to work with to say, listen, if we all got up and voted right now from Northampton Ave all the way up to Roosevelt Ave, if all of that area was just to vote, I said one of y'all could be mayor. He only get 10,000 votes. I know 10,000 of y'all don't do a damn thing. If you refocus your energy and you vote, I said, man, Lamar Cook could be mayor.
Absolutely.
My cousin Shamal, how you want it? The design clothes.
Absolutely.
Frank Nino and all them. If they would have started voting, they could be mayor. And those are the people that I'm talking to. Like, yo, man, listen, if y'all just vote, man, if we come out, if you can get 3 people, I can get 3 people, yo, what would that do? Well, you'll be working on a garbage truck. Because if you got a black mayor or a mayor that cares about you, I live out here in 01118. I see police vans, police cars out here in this area. People work city jobs, driving their city cars home parked right now. You could be doing that. You could be working on a trash truck. You could be working on the Arabs run all of the parking, right? The Arabs downtown. And I'm saying, Cephas Jackson has a security company. Why can't he have the license to run all of the security downtown? They give him a little bitty contract, and his best friend is, y'all know who he is Cephas Jackson's best friend. You begging for money, and these Arabs and these white boys, they got everything locked up because we don't vote. Our people ain't in power, and that's our fault. So I tell them that.
You're right.
But Brother Darryl, here's the thing. They have no faith and no confidence that this world loves them. And that's just a sad reality that takes place in our community. They just got so many other things on their mind, and they've been tricked into believing that their vote don't count. And then they mention names because they've been here just like me. And then they mention names. He's been a probation, for instance. Because I don't know how to talk in code.
But you know, I get where you going, bro. And it's like everything you're saying, I agree with. So it's kind of like we really have to figure this out because and the crazy part is it's not just the cats on the undercurrent; it's the cats on top too that don't vote, and they're so removed. And you know, and it's like and not understanding why they're in the it is a frustrating conversation.
Yes,
because trying to explain to them you're in the situation that you're in right now because of this, and this, and you can impact that, and you can change that. You know, you can change that. You know, so it's kind of like, I don't know, man. It's one of those conversations, and I know people are watching. Yeah, there they go. But it's one of these conversations that we need to be having, and we need to have more often, because we ain't always going to agree. And we don't, how they say 365 roads to freedom. Stokes, as long as we both heading towards freedom, our goal is to get off this plantation. And that's it. So we got work to do. We can't do it. I hate to have public conversations about our community and airing our dirty laundry, but the reality is, until we can get to the point where we can have closed conversations and really impact, change with our community, we got to do it like this. These are real conversations. These are real thoughts and real views that folks are having, and I'm glad you're sharing it. So, matter of fact, I was going to hit you up and see if you were interested in writing a monthly column in the newspaper, but
I'm not. And I know my
you told me
shortcomings.
before. You told
I'm
me
not
before.
very good at and it's really like it really is not a problem. I probably could do it, but I'm lazy like that. I'm a bull in a china shop, man.
All you have to
pull
do
something
is
up, man.
speak it into that microphone, and it'll write
Yeah.
it out for you. And then Daryl and those guys can edit it. Like
Okay.
you can make it simple for yourselves. They got all types of tools out here
Oh,
now.
absolutely.
To
All we
make
have
it
to do is
easier.
take it and transcribe it.
Transcribe
But
it exactly.
You got a lot to say, bro.
I just want to say one thing. If you go to if everybody that's listening to the show right now,
yep,
go down to Spring Street and School Street right now. There are brothers and sisters who are strung out on fentanyl. They're prostituting, unprotected sex. They keep them ushered up on Pearl Street, School Street, Spring Street, High Street. And the person that's doing the new building over there on Wilbraham Road, he owns the same buildings that our community brothers and sisters are allowed to get high in. Daryl, listen to what I'm telling you. They're inside those buildings and basements. They're getting high.
They're on the streets. I went to a rise the other day to drop newspapers off to Tanisha. Dude was sitting on the front step selling, and whew, man.
And what I'm saying is,
talk about it.
If you do that, you can do that up on that hill. And here we are, and I always go back to this. There are resources available, and Tracy talked about the ARPA funds. That from I'm not even a mayor, from a health and human perspective, I'm the mayor of the city of Springfield. I have a health and human service department. And I don't know that people are strung out on drugs, and I'm not working with the hospitals and the rehabs to figure out what can we do to provide a safety net for these people. What is anybody thinking about that? So people are ODing and dying, unprotected sex in the open. We drive by it every day and we see it, and we have a mayor that they don't have a plan for that. And as a person that suffered from the disease of addiction, who got high in them hallways on High Street, okay? I'm not talking about something that I don't know about. I got high in them hallways. I smoked crack in them hallways. I know what's going on in them hallways right now.
Brother Stokes, hold your sermon. Hold on 1 second. I got to do this.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of WTCC Radio or Springfield Technical Community College.
I wish that message would play sometimes when Bud Williams is on the air talking about this person works well with the mayor and that person works well with the mayor and this person works well with the mayor. Put the views and opinions up there, because if you can't work well with the mayor, you still got to do the work, because when you're working well with the mayor, what exactly does that mean?
Teach.
What does working well with the mayor actually mean? Does it mean
what does that mean?
Pennies on the dollar if I say I work well with the mayor?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does it mean?
Who's getting the hookup? Working well with the mayor. With a question mark. What does that get you? Views and opinions. Make sure that is played every time he goes on the air and says this one and that one. Thank you for working well with the mayor. What does that mean? Are you working well for the people when you work well with the mayor? I mean, I just want some answers.
I don't know. I worked there for 12 years. I don't know what that means. I still don't know what it means.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I'm tired of hearing that.
Brother Stokes might have a response. Brother Stokes, what exactly does it mean to work well with the mayor?
That you you don't speak out against the system, because like I don't want to talk bad about people no more, man, because not talking bad about them, but
I'm just trying to get clarification.
no, honey, no, no, I'm trying to be like more sensitive to, like, because they talk, man, listen, brothers, they call my mother, who is 83 years old.
That's horrible.
And
That's
listen,
horrible.
they call my mother. My mother, I'm going to tell you this. I'm in Virgin Circle in the 80s. Cephas Jackson comes up to me. I forgot who he was. And he said, "You Heavy Stokes?" And I was like, "Man, what did you talk? What do you want, man?" He said, "You have to leave here." I said, "Leave where?" He said, "You got to leave Virgin Circle. I'm doing security." I said, "Yo, man, if you don't move from here." So he left. I go to my mother's house to visit. My mother said, "Was you over in Virgin Circle?" I'm like, "Yeah." She said, What happened?" I told her what happened. She said, "Well, you got to move from there." I said, "Why?" She said, "That's my namesake. They've been knowing each other for 50, 60 years. So I'm saying, okay. So we moved. Everywhere I moved after that,
Minister.
Jackson Security got a contract. Everywhere, ask him, everywhere I moved, Cephas Jackson moved behind me. I moved from that area. He got a contract. So his first contract was off of me. We laugh all the time about that.
I got about 10 more minutes, folks. I got about 10 more minutes.
I have to go now.
Okay.
Past my bedtime, guys.
Oh,
I'm getting old.
All right, counselor. You still, my girl Jenny Ray says she still need answers. Before you leave, what exactly does it mean when they talk about city councilors working well with the mayor? What exactly does that mean?
I asked the question, so I really don't know, because I try to be professional. I try to make phone calls. I try to send professional emails. I try to invite them to anything out of professional courtesy. I try to make sure I acknowledge. So I'm not really sure what the definition of work.
Does it mean that you don't question the mayor? You go along, you vote in any direction you want to
Maybe it's
go in?
go along to get along type of relationship. But I'm not that person. I could still agree with you professionally and not take it personal and still treat you professional, like we should as elected officials. We are supposed to move the city forward in a professional way if possible, and I can still do that. So if working well with the mayor is going to compromise my integrity and my dignity, I will never work well with the mayor, and because I'm not a go along and get along.
All right.
And on that note, I'm gonna say good night to you, beautiful people. Thank everybody for listening. D. Moss, thank you for having me once again. Thank you, Charles, for bringing this issue up and having my back on it. I definitely appreciate it. You're very highly intelligent, and if you write that column, it'll be so worth it for all of us. So I'm gonna stay on you about that. But thank you for having my back.
Got you, sis. No doubt
about it. All right,
counselor.
All right. Good night.
All right, 90.7 WTCC FM. Don't forget, people, we are broadcasting live on 90.7 via remote from the campus of Springfield Technical Community College. I'm on with my brother, Minister Charles Stokes. I enjoy being on with him. Some of the best conversations I've had all year are always when he is on, because, he gives me an opportunity to loosen up my collar and say what I want to say. And I feel empowered when I'm with this brother. It's like,
praise be to God.
The government can call. I don't care. I was on with Charles Stokes. I said what I had to say. What? So I appreciate you, man. You have that ability to do that. So just so folks know, we had City Councilor Tracy Whitfield on. If you haven't read Mass Live, go check out Mass Live. I know the Metro Record nor Point of View have covered that yet, but don't sweat. We definitely will. You will read it. It is what it is. So, brother, anything else you want to share? It was a pleasure having you. I have a feeling this should be like one of them Oprah series. I should have like a 5-part special with Minister Stokes on here. It'll probably get me thrown off the air, but I'm cool with that because
that's all right. Well, I just want to say again, man, thank you, Daryl. I called you, man. I was laying up here in my house, man, and I was reading that Mass Live article, and I was cussing and screaming, and I just let me call D. Moss, and I just wanted to talk to the community. Listen, we have the power in 2022 to really change the narrative. Like again, if I offended you, don't keep doing it, and I won't keep doing it. But let's come together, man. There's so many things that we can accomplish. Like I was thinking, Terrell Hill should be the superintendent of schools. I was
Say
thinking
that
that.
again. Whoa. Back up. Say that one more time.
I tell Terrell all the time that if I get elected mayor, because I might run. If I get elected mayor, I got a plan too. I would have Terrell Hill as the school superintendent of our schools. I would get rid of the police commissioner. I would appoint a police chief. That would be Rupert Daniels. I would promote Captain Larry Akers up to deputy police chief. I really would, man. I would just.
Can we bring back Captain Brown as chief of police? I don't think anybody's more square than that dude right there.
Right. And here's the thing. I know Captain Brown.
Me too.
Captain Brown knows me.
One of the most respectable dudes
Yes,
I've ever met in my life, ever. If he says something is green, I don't question it. I go, well, that's it. Captain Brown said it's green.
You know what? That's a good, see? But we need to, if we vote and get involved, we can change the narrative. If we don't vote, we don't get involved, then the legacy that we're going to leave for our children are on us.
Absolutely.
And I don't want that. No child should have to go through what you and I went through growing up, man. Our children don't deserve it. We deserve better. Unity in our community. And for those people who disagree with us and support the mayor, I'm saying this. You're betraying our community. You're betraying our people, and you're betraying the city. And we just got to have a conversation with you on how you can continue to support this man. He disrespected our sister, Tracy Whitfield. That's our sister. That's our mother. That's our daughters. That's our auntie. And if we allow...
There's only one way off the plantation. Only one way off the plantation. At some point, you have to make up your mind and get up and walk out.
Yes.
You can't stay on the plantation. Going along, as Jenny Ray says, go along to get along. To stay on that plantation is to go along to get along. The whole time you think you're saving your life by just getting along, you're killing your family. Amen. You're killing your ancestors and you're killing your own descendants.
Yes.
Bottom line is, you want to get off that plantation, at some point you have to say hell no to some things. This is America, which means the political process is one of the few routes that we have to use to our advantage. And it's like, you got to get involved politically. I don't care how much you hate the political process. Just understand that the streets that you live on, oftentimes the last streets to be plowed when the snow hits. When there are potholes, your street is the last one to be repaired. Plumtree Road to get repaired 25 times before they redo Eastern Ave again. It took 12 years. It took everybody fighting to get them to redo Eastern Ave. In the meantime, they were doing every other street outside of the neighborhoods where the majority of us live. So when you say you don't do politics, just understand that your trash getting picked up late on a regular basis. Sometimes they take your recycling, sometimes they don't. That's politics, baby. It's politics. Yes. When you're talking about businesses shutting down in your neighborhood or your neighbor losing his house to tax title, don't you know there are options that are available to you to maintain and keep your homes? I don't know how many people we help to save their homes. That's politics. So when people say, I don't do politics, but you continue to live an effed up life and you say, I don't do politics, my life is screwed anyway. No, it's because you refuse to take the time to learn the process. Everything that we do on a daily basis, from sending your kid to school, whether or not your kid catches a bus, that's politics, man. It's politics. Your kid going to school and not having a single book to put in his book bag? Brother, that's politics.
They're feeding our children.
Politics. Say what?
They're feeding our children in school lunches, right? The lunches they receive that my daughter and them receive at Sabbath school are the same lunches that come from them trucks that drop off food in prison.
But Sabbath is a private charter school. The Springfield public schools have control, but if you send your kids to Sabbath, you should be calling the state department, calling DESE, because they're a charter school. Stacia Brown said in paving of Hancock Street Hancock Street took forever to be paved. So it's kind of like folks need to understand, man, this is politics.
and it stopped at Central Street. They didn't pave all the way
All
down.
the way.
And then they took the sidewalk off of one street, and then you can see when you're going around the rotary and you go all the way down, those streets stopped being paved. They didn't even pave them all the way. They went to a certain area and stopped.
You know what, Jenny Ray? I make my daughters. I'm a born again dad. I have a beautiful 5-year-old, and we make her lunch every morning before she goes to school. And her mom makes her lunch super healthy, the way it should be. No GMO, no all that other mess. The bottom line is, you know, again, it's all politics, man. I'm telling you, get involved in this process. Every aspect, man. You can't pay the superintendent $289,000, then pay a teacher $35,000, $40,000, and expect them to teach your kid and be happy every time your kid cuts up in class. You want your kid to be happy at school, pay to compensate these educators, man.
True.
Compensate them. You know, it's like, but you got to get involved in this process because it impacts us in some way, form, or another. I don't care how you live your life or where you live your life. This stuff impacts us, and you do have a say, and you do have a voice. Be like Charles. Poke the bear till the bear gets too tired to hit you back. Keep poking. It's the only way to get off the plantation. It's the only way. There's no other way to get off. We do not live in a deracialized society. We live in a very racialized, very racist society. And to walk around with blinders on and pretend that it doesn't exist, man, that's unhealthy. Man, I'm telling you right now, you be calling Gary and Dave every damn day at the African diaspora trying to figure out what's going wrong with you because you're pretending that racism does not exist. Dominic Sarno was a bigot when I worked there, and he's more of a bigot now. Tommy Ash, his chief of staff, is a renowned racist. Yo, half these people are. So stop walking around with blinders on. Man, these cats are whipping you in your back. And you're, well, he only whipped me 12 times. It ain't that bad. Folks, wake up. What happened with Tracy and the mayor in a nutshell, Jenny Ray? The mayor refused to talk to Tracy. He hasn't talked to Tracy in quite some time. She's a city councilor. She's a 2-term city councilor. He communicates and interacts with just about everybody else on the city council except for her. She happens to be the only black woman on the city council. So anytime she disagrees with him, he's appalled as if, she's way beneath him. And she held him accountable, sent him a letter, went to the media. His response was, if Tracy wants to have a meeting with him or a conversation with him, then she needs to write a public apology to him.
Man.
Public apology? How the hell you tell a grown woman to write a public apology?
Come on, man. Listen.
So that's it. It's on Mass Live. We're trying to get somebody to write it now so we can kind of put our own spin on the article because Peter Goonan did his spin and his thing. Those folks are always about narrative and controlling their narrative and spinning it so that it benefits white America. So it just is what it is. So it's time, I ain't gonna lie. I was one of the ones telling people, get out there and vote for him. There was a time when we had me, Denise, we were able to balance that stuff out. So we got some stuff done. So for folks who say I'm a hypocrite, that's cool. But when we were there for a reason, and we were there to get things done, and we did it our own way, regardless of what he had to say.
Read the book, The Spook by the Door.
Sam Green.
And you got to read the book, Spook by the Door, to understand.
By the door. Yep.
And I say this, and we've been honest about this from the beginning. When I got out of prison in 1998, I was going at everybody. It didn't matter. I was calling radio shows. I was angry, and I was saying things to Brother Darrell, and Brother Darrell Moss never called me out of my name. I was being rude and offensive. I was mean, angry, frustrated, and Brother Darrell always kept it level. And then one day, I was walking by the mayor's office. I walked up in that office, and I apologized to Darrell and told him, man, it was just where I was at in that phase of my life. He said, say no more. We hugged that, and ever since then, we've been on the same, because I begin to understand that when we don't have good people in those offices, we really gonna get screwed.
Absolutely.
And I know this, that Darrell Moss, Tracy Whitfield, Charles Stokes, none of us have absolute power, right? And this Caucasian doesn't fear anything but death. And so since we're not willing to die, like right now, everybody talking, but ain't nobody willing to kill nothing. Ain't nobody willing to die. So let's put that off the table because we ain't going to do that.
Yep.
So now, since we know we're not going to kill nobody, since we know we're not going to die because we got new cars and Nintendos and PlayStation and we don't want to leave that. So now the other only recourse we have is to come together and vote. We got to be more. We cannot be mad at the Latino community for not wanting to deal with us when we are majorly dysfunctional. They got Maria Perez in check. Whatever she's doing is sanctioned by Herbie Flores, Cheryl Rivera Coakley, who are my dear friends. We laugh at us. Me and Cheryl Rivera laugh at black people all the time. Since I met her when me and Laval Smith was first running for office, and we went in there and we was asking for her help. God bless Laval, my mentor. Cheryl Rivera told us, we're not helping y'all. We're down with so-and-so, so-and-so, and that's it. That's how they are aligned. Adam Gomez, Carlos Gonzalez, none of them can make a move without New North Citizens Council, Herbie Flores, and nobody can't make a move up here unless it's designed and aligned. They've been doing it for 60 years, D. While we're in the midst, there are some people setting up the puppet masters, and it makes it difficult, but it's not. We can overcome if the people get up. If we can rise the conscience of the people and get them to see. Like when I ran for city council in early 2000, I got 4,987 votes, Daryl. I knew nothing about politics and ran for office. And the people who know me and support me, they came out. So it can be done if we put the time and effort in.
When you say, everybody needs to get up, vote, I think the most important thing is organize. Educate and organize. And then I got to correct you on one thing. I see Adam shouting on the side. I was going to say something, but Adam always got to jump in and say something. When Adam first ran, he didn't have the support of, he had the support of very few people. And last of all, I believe, was some of the status quo people who felt that he was in your boat. Why are you running? And he had to go through all that. So there are some folks, even in the Latino community, it's just as stratified as ours. It's just as dysfunctional at times as ours. Even in the Irish community, let me say this. The Irish, let me tell you, them Italians, they're not too much better. They just present a better front. However, I do understand what you're saying on the Hill. Some folks are scared to move without certain people's position. Then there are people who move anyway. I'm not a permission asking type of person. I had problems asking my parents for permission, so I stayed out. I'm just saying. But nah, man, it ain't.
No, I didn't mean hold on now, because Adam is my dude. Now, Adam is my dude. Out of all of the legislators that's been in office, Adam Gomez has been the only one to support us. I'm going to tell you how the 11th District State Representative is treated in Boston, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've had meetings with people from Boston to get funding, right?
Yep.
And guess what state representative they said when we asked for, what about them? No, they said, don't worry about that. Don't even deal with him. Don't even.
Adam?
No, the black one. I don't call out names no more.
You're right. I got you. I slipped for a minute.
They told us not to worry about it. You know who got us funding?
Who?
Adam Gomez. So I don't put him in the same category as some of the other ones, but I also don't blame them for not messing with us up on. Listen, Brother Darryl, we are so dysfunctional that our dysfunction makes people like this. I love y'all. I want to deal with you guys. However, it doesn't. I'm not doing well over here. I know if I jump off into that cesspool, what's going to take place. And when you have people in our community, Daryl, that come to me on a regular basis saying to me, maybe I should take speech classes or something. Maybe I shouldn't be as angry as I am over all of these Black and Latino children being murdered, right? And I'm listening to the mothers. Maybe I shouldn't be angry that we have a school superintendent that makes close to $500,000 in an area where the median income is less than $30,000 a year. I shouldn't be angry that the mayor got a police commissioner that says there's no systemic racism in her police department, and he says she's not going nowhere. Maybe I shouldn't be angry that we have a school system with no books that show African Americans or Latino Americans in a positive light. Maybe I should learn how a different way of expressing the anger that I have for this system and what he's doing to us. What he said to Tracy Whitfield, maybe I'm angry and I shouldn't be this angry. And I should express it in a way that makes people accept what I'm saying. Because they say what I'm saying is the truth, but maybe I'm a little too angry. I wouldn't give a damn what they say. I'm a stay angry, but I'm not consumed. But I'm gonna be angry when I see the mayor. When I see the mayor, wherever I see him at.
I don't even see you as. I honestly don't even see you as angry. I see you as brutally honest, and how people take that is on them. You're brutally honest. You ain't got no problem calling a spade a spade. If you're right, you stick with it. If you're wrong, you're compromised. I don't see you as being angry. If you was angry, Heavy Stokes used to be angry. Charles Stokes ain't angry.
You know what? Because Charles is fat and 60 years old, and you can't do nothing but bark behind that fence. And when we open that gate, you ain't doing nothing, right? Plus, like I'm not angry, but I was just saying that as
passion.
Yeah.
You know what? I think we're all passionate. We all display it in different ways. We do. We all display it in different ways. I don't have to know somebody. If somebody in my community gets hurt, shot, killed, arrested, beat down, lose their property to the city, the state, whatever, I'm mad. I don't have to know you to feel your pain. So if you angry, I'm angry. And I firmly believe that I don't care how well I'm doing, I'm still doing bad until every one of us are doing good. And I think we all have to see it that way. I could have took my job downtown. I could have sat in the corner and said, absolutely, yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. I can't help you, sir. We could all do that. That stuff ain't me. So we're all emotional about this when it comes down to this. We're all super passionate. Ain't nobody happy. Man, even cats that sit around and coon all day, when you get them in their little rooms by themselves, they are not happy. They're pissed off. You get to what Paul Lawrence Dunbar said, I wear the mask that grins and lies. Woo. I can't wear a mask. And I'm that dude. I wear my expressions on my sleeves, just like so many of my brothers and sisters. What you see is what you get. If I'm pissed off, I look pissed off. If I'm happy, I'm cheesing. Right. So how I'm feeling, if you do something wrong, I used to be like, I'd be at nice to work downtown. Oh, the angry black man. I ain't angry. I just ain't tolerating your ish. If something ain't funny, you don't smile. Something pisses you off, and as Tracy talked about those microaggressions, when you know they shooting the microaggressions at you, there's no time. Let me tell you, and I got to shout out my man Adam Gomez, for keeping me grounded, because there were days when that office would get you down, and his big body would fill the frame, and he'd be like, yo, psst, come here. And we go for a little walk, we talk. I go back to my desk, and I'm good again. So it's kind of like, man, when people think, on the outside, people think you're having a beautiful day. But then there are people who see you and they know that your day is screwed up. You know what I mean? So I think we have to continue to soldier each other, be there for each other. Yes. Even when we disagree. We still have to soldier up for each other. Because, man, let me tell you, existing in this country, listen, man, let me tell you, you can wear that mask all day, but after a while, that mask just starts to wear down and melt. And it starts to burn your skin. And it kills your spirit. So we got to continue to fight. We have to continue to remind people what this struggle is all about. This struggle
Yes,
is
sir.
real. This war is real. The same thing my father went through when he was born back in 1929 up until he died. We're still dealing with this mess. The same mess my great grandparents went through, my great great grandparents went. We're still dealing with this garbage. So when you say we got to wake up and vote, no, we have to wake up and continue to educate, whether people like it or not. There are people that have problems with this conversation tonight, and tomorrow I'll probably getting phone calls, and other folks will be saying, every time you bring Stokes on, he says something. And I'm like, yes, and that's why he's on. Because you got to shake things up. Sometimes, man, you gotta shake the beehive to get them out, to get the honey. It is what it is. So we got work to do, man. And I just want to thank everybody who tuned in with us,
And
everybody
Rodney
who
Mayfield,
participated in the
don't you call
conversation.
me.
Mayfield's past Mayfield's bedtime, man.
No, listen. He's up, right? Now, me and Rodney grew up together. He'll
Yep.
tell you about me. I used to protect him growing up, right?
But you know what? You
every
ain't got
night after conversation.
don't share that part. You ain't got to
Okay.
share that part.
No, he was a baby. But, he'll tell you. He just, and so listen to this. Every time I have a conversation, he calls me. And he's so concerned about me, right? That's my brother.
Yeah.
He is so concerned. There's people in this community that call me that's so concerned about me, and they don't want me to, like, I know what you do. They don't want me to, a lot of people of my family and friends, they fear for me. They really do, Brother D. And it's kind of cute, right? Because I'm sitting here thinking, listen, I am nobody for nobody to be plotting to do something to, right? It ain't that serious. Don't get all scared. And he's the one that calls me. He comforts me. And, him and other brothers in the community who I grew up with, they call me, man, and they just chime in and they support me. And they just calm down. They don't, but and it's all love because, like, I grew up. George Blake's another one. Spanky. I always tell him, right? There's only two tough light-skinned guys I met: Spanky Blake and Muhammad Ali. Right? No, serious. Spanky could listen, man. Spanky grew up with us going to the pool hall, man, on Catherine Street. His house was right next to the pool hall. We'd be running out the car selling nickel bags, and when his mother would come out, we'd have to stop. We got the bag of weed in our hand. She got to get in the car.
Some stories don't need to be shared on the radio.
But yeah, but
some stories don't need to be shared on the radio, bro.
Because these are my family members.
I get it.
They know me. So they call me Della. Della's another person.
But check this.
Sweetest woman in the world.
But check this. Right now we have a platform. You have a platform. And you have, giving you time to do you. But we're talking about community. It's not just about you. It's about the community that you're trying to impact. You dig where I'm coming from?
Yes, sir.
Does that make
Absolutely.
sense? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying, I really like I'm supposed to be off by now, but I like for the community to stay on I want the focus to stay on the community and not on us as personalities and individuals.
Oh yeah, no.
You dig where I'm coming from?
So yeah, most of the time I do.
Yeah, I know. But my job as a radio personality is to make sure I bring it back.
Man, it's hard to offend me, man. My mother done said so many things about me, man. I'm immune.
Yo, don't get mad at me for laughing, because some of it sound hilarious.
Yeah, man, if you don't find a sense of humor in this, Daryl, no, real talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no shades of gray for me, right?
Right.
And when Sister Tracy Whitfield, when I saw that written response apology from him, that I couldn't sleep. And that's why I called you, man. I was like, for him to say that to her, that sister, he feels real comfortable.
He sent a message out to every last one. Everybody not on his team, he sent a clear message to all of us. And it's like, I don't know, maybe he watched The Godfather the day before yesterday, but he need to understand that this is not the movies. Times are changing. There are strategies being put in place right now. Folks meeting, organizing. He gonna be gone. I'm not sure who's gonna be up in that office, but it won't be him. And a lot of these elected folks who are up there with him, they're going to be gone. Mark my words. Call me, what do you call those people who can see the future?
Nostradamus.
Yeah, I'm going to be Nostradamus D. Moss. But he said, but fools keep, Marvin said, what's up, Big Marv? Fools keep voting for that clown. Yeah, they were voting for him, but I think it's our job now to come at him. It's a little different when you got to, what Dominic did this time, Marvin, that's going to be a little bit different. He don't force everybody to play in the same sandbox.
Yeah.
Whereas before, folks had beef. Me and Justin Hurst, we cool. We ain't gotten along in 12 years. Oh, we good.
Wow.
You don't force all the wrong people to play in the right sandbox.
Well, that's good.
So it's kind of like Game of Thrones. It's okay. He got the crown. He's sitting in the chair right now, but it won't happen forever. I could probably get in trouble for saying this on the radio, but I don't really care right now. So I'm going to hang up with this. Folks, please understand things are changing. People are meeting and organizing and strategizing. Things are happening. We may not know all the details, but there are things happening in all these little silos. These little silos are coming together. For the folks who think that brick wall still exists between the Black and the Latino community, let me tell you right now, that wall's been crumbling for quite some time. There will be more news at 11. I'm just telling people, pay attention.
Yes, sir.
Pay attention. These walls are coming down. He thinks when he shows up, everyone. You know what happened? I remember after I got let go, somebody passed. I ain't gonna say no names. And the family made sure to tell Dominic that he wasn't welcome. The bottom line is, we have to black him out. Remember we talked about that a long time ago, Stokes?
Yes, sir.
Folks, so if I put it like this, if something happens and I'm not around tomorrow, y'all make sure he don't walk in the door to even go anywhere near my casket.
I tell you what.
We have to uninvite him to everything. And matter of fact, not just him, anybody that doesn't go along with the vision of progress, the vision to create one Springfield, to make sure that we enhance the quality of life for everyone, anybody that goes against that needs to be uninvited. They shouldn't be allowed to come before our churches. They shouldn't be allowed to be there when we put our hard-earned sweat, money, equity, blood, the whole nine into opening a business, and here he comes to cut a ribbon. Nah, man. We don't have to invite him. We can tell him no. So he needs to start getting that message. I mean, we don't have control of Mass Live or Channel 22 or Channel 40, but we do have the point of view, and we do have the Metro record, and we do have 90.7 for the time being. Let's use it while we got it. You're right, Jenny. Jenny Ray says on the side he's not invited to the cookout. You damn straight.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Wherever I see him, and I told you this before, Daryl, and I've been consistent, wherever I see him in this community, he's going to, you can come up here if you want. You can accept these Negroes' invitations if you want. But when I see Mayor Sarno, you're going to answer questions or you're going to be roasted. I don't have, you're not going to just walk around here like you're an overseer with a whip. I'm the Django. I'm unchained.
There it is. And that's why we love you. And the thing is, more of us got to stand with you. It is what it is. More people need to poke the bear, man. Just poke it. Poke it. If he gets comfortable saying hi to you, then you know you're doing something wrong. If he come up to give you a hug and want to kiss your baby, you know you're doing something wrong. Hey, y'all, this is 90.7 WTCC FM. I got to get back to play some music. And y'all, listen, man. Let everybody know that it's on. Things are changing. Yo, shout out to my state senator, Adam Gomez. Listen, we in there. Everybody, much love. Yo, Brother Stokes, I appreciate you. I love you. We're going to get you back on, and we're going to send you a tape recorder, a little digital recorder, and you can do a digital recording for your article.
I'll do that.
Cool?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Much love.
Respect.
Everybody else, you can tune in on 90.7 terrestrial radio, and we will be on doing our thing right now, getting down to the music. And we's out. Doses, y'all.
Monday morning. Yesterday was our day, it was pouring, raining down with love in both of our souls. And you were so good, you were so cold, I really mean hot. Hey, you were awesome, babe.
Peace, everybody.